Hey!
Hello.
Everyone, welcome.
We're
ladies and
here.
gentlemen. We're here. Welcome, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, to Legends of Avantris, our Prime campaign. We are a bunch of nerds who've been playing together for almost 3 years now. We are playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and we do a lot of homebrew stuff. I haven't done that disclaimer in a while. I don't think anybody cares. Who cares about rules? Story over rules. So what are the disclaimers? This is a mature stream. We're doing a giveaway.
A giveaway.
Followers. Holy hand grenade. It's so fun. We're doing like a dice bag or something. Some fun.
Holy hullabaloo.
Holy hullabaloo. I think, hullabaloo, I used that word at work today because I'm so cool. I'm not even kidding. I think I also use jamboree.
You're pretty cool, Mike. You're
very cool.
Cool
Very
gone.
cool.
You're a cool guy.
What else we got? What is our thing? If you tuned in on Saturday to Beneath Dark Wing Session 2.
Oh, look at that. Thanks for the resub.
Hey. Wow, 8 months in a row.
8 months.
We've been doing this for a while.
We've been affiliates that long?
Quite a while, yeah.
Doesn't feel like it.
Well, our 2-year anniversary, or 1-year anniversary of the stream is this month. So, holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Mature stream, ladies and gentlemen. And I think with that, we'll introduce our players. You all know them, but we'll just go around anyway. We have Richie playing Rodek Stoneheart, or Fighter. We have Nikki playing Silly Flickerwicket, no Morlock. We have Kelsey playing Annulin Mossgrove, a Wood Elf Ranger, and then Andy playing Vander's True Strike, a High Elf Rogue. And so, I think with that, we'll just dive right into last time. And so, last session, you all had just stumbled upon a horrific scene. A well-dressed woman on her bed, 2 puncture marks in her neck, clearly dead and drained of life. An open window.
Clearly dead.
An open window in her room. It wasn't long before you encountered town guards that had come to investigate it. Annulin and Lumi managed to sneak into the room while they did this and kind of forced the rest of the gang back to the room in order to keep things quiet. And they then learned that, that this wasn't the first time an attack like this had happened, and that they had basically called in for backup, and they weren't really sure what they meant until a group of bullywugs arrived with a tarp and a sled. They took the body, they wrapped it up, and with them, not too far behind, was Remy Guru, the owner of the Hungry Catfish, and the gentleman that seems to be the de facto leader of the town. He realized he was very frustrated. He was behind covering up this murder, but he seemed to be very frustrated and angry that there was attack, not just in Agwe again, but in his turf of the Magnolia Promenade. He had said that there had not been one. This was the first. And so, with that, he had gone and looked for the witnesses. He went downstairs into the hotel where they were staying, and then eventually arrived back to their room. He had had a discussion with them, was wondering what they had seen. When he realized that they had seen a lot, he decided to level with them, maybe make a deal. They offered their services as heroes for hire, potentially, to make a potential deal. And it wasn't long until they had come to an arrangement that they wouldn't talk about it, and then they would, basically eventually meet on the Hungry Catfish in order to really hammer out the nature of some kind of arrangement. They then decided to meet him on his riverboat, and it was there that they basically hammered out an arrangement that they would kind of help investigate this. They asked for some answers, and that they wouldn't talk about this. He would basically allow them to kind of move freely around the town without being disturbed by people. He said he would call a council meeting of the 3 other gangs that kind of run Agwe, and that he would basically have them all kind of back down. But he told you that if you kind of poke too much trouble into their business, there might be some repercussions to pay, no matter what, he said. And you also get an arrangement to kind of let Taiki kind of come along to kind of investigate something, at least, and kind of assist. And then you had also received an invitation from Alphonse LeBlanc for a meal. you did some shopping after kind of meeting with Guru, and then you decided to meet with for dinner, Alphonse and Laudna, who you were all very suspicious of. You cased the joint several times, made sure that there was no way in order to brought some tools to ideally detect poison and the like. You all arrived at the restaurant, the Café Commandant, and both of the individuals arrived. You talked about a variety of things. Talked about kind of your adventures in the previous arc. You talked about the kind of what had brought you to Ogway. Learned a little bit about Laudna, how she'd gone off to school to get a degree in geography in Anzu. And Alphonse had really inspired her. And kind of, Alphonse had kind of mentioned that, he had mentioned something enchanting about Sylvie, and then there was some discussion about the Feywild and Titanium and the like, which brought him a good deal of interest, and he had alluded to potentially discussing that further down the line. And what was very tense still ended up being a pleasant dinner, I guess if you could call it. And when they arrived back at their hotel, Taiki Heartseeker was kind of lying against their room, slumped over, waiting for them to get back. And then she told them that she was ready that she had seen people head into the cemetery, and that she wanted to know if they wanted to go. And you are all standing in the hallway as Taiki's just lying there looking at you and said, yeah, there's people in the cemetery. You want to come with?
Taiki, you gotta do me a favor here. I appreciate you showing up to our door like this and bringing us clues that the heroes for hire can go after, but try not to, and don't take this the wrong way, but try not to look so dead next time. You had me worried there for a minute.
Don't tell me what to do, Vandris. So what's the plan here?
Well, you lead the way. We're ready to go.
Well, hold on. Who did you see in the cemetery? Are there just people there?
I saw a bunch of creeps in hoods.
In hoods? So some kind of cult?
I don't know. I ain't never dealt with no cult.
Sounds like those lollipop heads that Sylvie keeps talking about.
Well, I mean, that depends. Did they have lollipop heads?
What's a lollipop?
It's like where one head goes, lollipop.
I didn't hear nothing like that, no.
Well, just speak like that. It just lollipops about.
I think this may be our opportunity.
For what?
Anytime we've seen a bunch of creepy people in hoods, they've always been up to no good.
Do you mean hoods or hues?
Hoods.
Hues?
Hoods. Aye, hoods.
What's an eye hued?
Anyway, let's go.
At the very least, I can tell you that Venom Spine has been a little thirsty for cultist blood lately. We haven't really had a run-in since the early days, so I'm ready to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I guess we'll go. I mean, hopefully you guys are pretty strong, right? I'm not going to die horribly, right?
We'll be fine. And again, we're not going to engage unless we have to. We're just going to watch. We're going to sneak in.
We're also never scared. Please remember that.
The only thing you need to promise, though, is you can only come with us if you promise that I get Vandris' right arm if he dies.
Which isn't going to happen. Pretty much ever.
Yes.
Well, maybe one day,
Cool.
but it's not going
If
to
I
be.
get all his gold, then you can have his arm. I'm commiserate with that.
Well, I don't know about the gold, but at least I'll take the arm.
That's fine. I don't really care.
So I would hope you all would at least send the gold back to my parents.
I don't know who they are.
You have parents?
I mean, yes, we all have. Well, let's just go to the graveyard. Taiki, lead the way.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a graveyard or a cemetery. I don't know. It's just there's spooky dead people there. Okay. Let's take off, shall we? And she gets up, and the clothes that she's wearing is definitely a little less casual or cocktail waitress than you've seen. She's wearing kind of some armor this time, and kind of more warmer clothes, and she seems like she's ready to battle. And so with that, she leads you down the stairs out of the hotel and across Ogway. The cloud cover is pretty thick, as it had been starting to drizzle a little bit. It picked up a bit as you are making your way through. Even when there is a bit of a gap in cloud cover, it is just a tiny new moon, or a little slightly past the new moon, the sliver of the waxing moon. As you see the town is still hopping and excited. It's pretty late at this point now. You had stayed out late with Alphonse, eating and talking and drinking, and so it's probably a little past midnight, and you are making your way across the bridge, and you eventually make your way to the Crawdad Quarter, which I will.
Oh, so we're going across the bridge.
Yeah. Oh, music is slightly loud.
I believe that is, yep.
So, with that, you cross the bridge, and he says, "So it's you better keep an eye out for any bushwhacker goons. I mean, I don't know, they don't police too much as far as I'm aware, but I don't come over much this far unless I'm doing unspecified things in the cemetery. But I will." I will keep an eye out. I hope you all do the same. And she leads you through the winding, narrow streets of the Crawdad Quarter. Small wooden huts and shacks are kind of all built up on stilts as kind of soil, firm soil gives way to marshy water and swamp and bog. As you get further and further into the town, it's taking you a while, and it seems as if you are getting towards the edge of the town. And as you're turning through the streets, you see that the dense canopy of the bayou is kind of looming ahead of you, packed tightly, as you get towards the very, very edge of the Crawdad Quarter and to the edge of Agway itself. As you turn a corner, you see directly ahead of you a long, narrow road with no buildings at all around it. Just a thick line of gnarled trees with kind of hanging, dense foliage. And at the very end, at least 150 feet away, you see kind of a rusty metal sign fastened in two stone pillars that you assume to be the cemetery. And it says, well, here it is. It's the old Agway Cemetery. I mean, I'm feeling a little spooked right now. Is anybody else feeling a little spooked?
No, you said something about keeping your eyes outside of you, and I can't stop thinking about it. What was the turn of phrase?
Keep an eye out?
Yeah, how do you accomplish that? Is that like a Haggai thing?
I think it's a turn of phrase. Do we see...
Also, what does a turn of phrase mean?
Do we see any figures?
So
True.
I would say that you make a perception check.
Oh, fun.
While he's rolling, Taiki, how many people did you see?
I mean, I saw at least 5 or 6 of them.
22.
They weren't very tall, so I mean, they were, average height, I guess. Maybe a little bit shorter. I mean, but they were all wearing hoods. It was hard to see, and I was kind of posting out right here, like you said, because I had the night off tonight.
Were the hoods so loose that you couldn't really tell what they were doing, or when they walked, did it look like their heads were slightly crooked or bent?
Crooked or bent? I mean, I wouldn't know what to look for that. I didn't see anything, but I saw spooky hooded guys, kind of walking towards me, and I heard like the wheels of a cart or something, like they were pulling it, and I ran. I wasn't gonna stick around for that. I mean, I came to get you guys, and you took forever.
Yeah, we were having dinner with Dracula. Takes longer than expected.
Well, let's get a closer look. We'll steal forward, but just everyone be as quiet as possible. Just keep an eye out. Right, Sylvie?
What?
Can you do that? Keep an eye out?
I don't know how.
Oh, well, just look around.
Okay,
Be on the
I
watch
do
out.
that.
All right.
Sounds much less.
So is there like a path we can take that's kind of sort of covered, or like?
So you get the sense that there is a very long, narrow kind of like dirt road, and it's even kind of wet, and the soil is wet and swampy, as you can tell, as it looks as if like that this was a very, very old cemetery, from what you can tell, and you only can kind of see the entrance from where you're at, and you feel like that going around would kind of take you right into the water so look, basically you can kind of go along the tree line, I guess, to answer your question.
Yeah, we'll do that. Well, Taiki, you've been here before, right? Just take us on the quietest path.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of built right into the swamp here. I mean, I'll do the best I can, but let's forge ahead here. So she kind of takes a few steps and stops a moment and turns around and says, "What are we expecting to find here now? I mean, are we just what's our plan here?"
Well,
To be honest, sorry, Sylvie, go ahead.
well, I was thinking we have a couple of chances. We could find some lollipop heads. We could find some cultists of another kind. We could find some nighttime Draculas, or we could find a cheating husband. I'm betting on the cheating husband. But, you know.
As soon as you say cheating husband, Taiki looks like suddenly like nervous and like, no, I've never been with no cheating husband here. I don't think any of them come here, so I think that's totally fine. We won't see that.
I guess that rules cheating husbands out.
No, not a chance. No, never. I mean, no, absolutely not. Definitely not wearing hoods. Okay, let's
Not
go.
just
So,
that you were going to say.
Yeah.
Well, I think Sylvie, very eloquently summed it up. Quite frankly, we're not sure what we're going to find, and I guess that's kind of what Heroes for Hire do. We look for what's next, I suppose. And we've got a lot of open ends, and we're kind of just looking for information and any kind of weird ongoings that we've seen that could be correlated to this, connected to this, could be important. So we appreciate the guide here, Taiki. Thank you.
And what I'll say is, I think there are a few things that this could be. It could be completely unrelated to anything that we've run into in the past. Just keep an open mind and lay low.
well, watch my back, and she points at you, Annulin, and says like, and you're good with that thing, right? She points at your bow as she kind of pulls her bow off of her back and holds it.
I'll pull mine off similarly and be like, yeah, I'm pretty good.
She looks around. See that possum over there? And she points.
I love possums.
Make a perception check.
Me?
Yeah.
$18.
18. You see like this tiny little possum at 150 feet on a branch. And she points at you and says, can you bullseye that thing?
Hmm?
I'm gonna fire an arrow, but aim like just below it on the branch to scare it away.
Okay, make an attack roll, please.
Do I see this happening?
Yeah.
Well, I like myself some aminals, and I'm still a baby.
I'm gonna bardic inspiration you. God, I have to write these ones down, and I pull out something that looks exactly like my book of grudges, but scratched on the top it says "songs" with the S backwards, and inside of it I'm gonna write the name "Little Animals Needs Work."
Okay, so what does bardic inspiration do again? I always forget.
You get a 1d6 anytime within the next 10 minutes.
On your attack roll. Or ability check.
Yeah.
In the next how long?
10 minutes.
I'm gonna save that because I rolled a 22.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So, the arrow flies, and Taiki is readying her bow, kind of getting ready to shoot. and the arrow hits the tree with a loud boom, and you hear as the possum just scatters away and dives down right as Taiki's arrow flies over it. It looks like you potentially saved the creature's life.
Oh. Whew. That could have been bad.
That's cheating. That's not fair. Let's fucking go. And
Killing all those animals isn't fair either.
Alright, let's go.
let's go hunting.
Let's go.
Never been hunting? You look like a hunter.
You weren't gonna eat it. You were just doing it for sport.
Can we all at least be a little stealthy as we move forward here and perhaps roll some dice to indicate our stealth checks?
I don't know what that
I'd
means.
like to do that as well.
Fine, jeez, okay. Unbelievable. I like your song, by the way. It was better than most of the drunks around at the catfish sing to me, so I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Taiki. My pixie's a shitter and won't teach me anything more, so...
Shit a pixies, what can you do?
Shitter pixies.
Frankly.
Stealth, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're tricksy, those pixies.
I got a 21.
21?
I rolled low. I got a 25.
Oh,
Okay.
no. That's terrible.
8.
8? Anulin?
14.
14, okay. So, you kind of all go alongside one of the sides of this tree line here. And you kind of just all creep as quietly as you can. And you look like Taiki kind of wants to just talk and give commentary as this happens, but she's like... And so she has her bow at the ready. And you're walking through, and then you see get closer and closer and closer. And you see kind of in these metal, in this elaborate metal work, you can make out probably half of the letters are missing, but it looks like it might say the Old Ogway Cemetery. And that's kind of your best guess from what you can see. And you see that there is a very narrow pathway down into this cemetery, and it's not just like a standard graveyard. There is just an entire row of above ground tombs, just small individual crypts, all just lined up on either side. And as you make your way through the gate, you can kind of see that it has these large stone walls. Some patches have kind of crumbled away and sunk into the swamp. As you make your way through, you see long, you see kind of down this long row of crypts on either side of you. That they're kind of just names, all sorts of names that seem to be a lot of human, a good number of forest gnomes, and just kind of like very kind of Ogway styled names.
Are they all stone? Are they made out of stone?
They're all made out of stone. They're all made out of stone, and they're all designed with like different things, like usually kind of celestial creatures, things like angels or devas, and some kind of have like a dragon iconography. Some are just kind of more maybe an etching of the person that had died, their face. As you kind of see down that there's this very narrow path, and there's just one path that seems to kind of go towards there's a bend in the tombs and kind of curves off to the right. And as you creep forward, I'm going to need everyone to make a perception check, please.
Oh, fuck. It's almost good. 12.
12?
15.
15?
10.
10? Oh, it's it. Okay. So, as you're making your way through, you're passing just the dead of dozens of people. You're not even really sure how old these are, but it feels very old. And as you're making your way through, you're kind of ready to turn the bend and creep deeper into the cemetery. All of your footsteps, despite trying to be quiet, you can kind of feel your feet press into the softness of this wet earth. And I would say most of you, because it's a group perception check, notice a faint glow coming from around the corner. It seems.
Does it look like firelight? No, sorry.
Oh yeah. It seems to be flickering, but it seems to be kind of a mixture of different shades of color, kind of very kind of faint glow of green, kind of a purple, pink, and orange, and kind of just like different, this mixture of colors, this faint glow coming from around this bend in the tomb. It's kind of reflecting off of this like statue of an angel that is has his arms crossed on one of the crypts.
Are there, just as a quick aside, are there any tombs that we've seen that have the Soluna's iconography at all? Like any...
Make an investigation check.
Oh, shit. 16.
16. If you're like, actively looking for this, I would say...
I would have been keeping an eye out.
I would say that you find a good number of symbols, and you can kind of see that there's a good number of like river from Eldath, I believe, was the river god, and Soluna. So you actually find like a good number of like moon iconography in addition to like the celestial bodies and the like, along with kind of like the effigy of the river. And so there's like a mixture of various gods. You kind of see some etchings of the sun, very kind of standard, like either naturey or celestial body, rather like the sun, stars, that kind of thing, and moon, as you're making your way through.
So I guess we see the lights. I say, hold on. Does everyone see that?
No, what? I rolled like 3.
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, but I see lights 90% of the time.
Oh,
Sorry.
There's clearly something up around the bend. So it's curving around, and we can kind of see it as we're coming.
So basically, it kind of goes straight, and then there's like basically a straight diagonal path as it turns. You can kind of see that on this one corner, there seems to be a larger, more prominent crypt that seems to maybe be for like a family, as that was basically built on this corner, and then it kind of veers off further into the bayou.
If we can spare some time, I'd be willing to do some recon.
Well, we have these huge crypts. I think that we should at least try to get in view, say very far away. If we need closer recon, I think it's fine. You can sneak in. But I
was thinking about flying it.
Oh, ooh. I mean, do we? Honestly, lad, I'm not sure I feel too good about that based on what happened a few weeks
Listen,
ago.
no one's in any danger. There's no one that needs to be currently saved. I was just thinking about doing some, flying around, see what I can see, and I don't know how much of this could be underground, if they're actually in the crypts, or what's going on, but if there's light up ahead, we can at least see what it is, and I probably won't be doing much flying around down in the crypts. So I figured now is probably a good idea to just give it a try.
I mean, to be fair, we could always let Lumi do it, because one of the things I like to tell the men in my life is don't blow your load in the beginning. And so I just am afraid that
I don't think I'll be flying around underground too much. And it's already, what time is it, Mike?
It's probably like 1-ish in the morning.
Well,
Oh, shucks. Well, we missed it. Never mind. Let's send Lumi in.
well, and lad, I think there won't be too much underground, given that these crypts are above ground, and given I'm assuming the water level is so high they can't dig graves in
That's
the
a good
ground.
point. This is a bayou sort of setting. There may not be much of a basement underground thing. Thank you. You keep my head on straight, you guys. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Well,
so I'm gonna go ahead and send Lumi in to look.
is
what's
Lumi
going
with
on.
us? I haven't seen her in like days.
I like one of those creepy watch salesmen at the parking lot of a mall. I open up my little jacket and you see she's sitting in my pocket. Well, I guess you wouldn't see her; she's invisible, but she's in my pocket.
Okay.
Well, before we do that, I'd like
Lumi is
to,
always with me.
just in case anything, we haven't even laid eyes on what we think this is.
Okay, so first you want me to take my eyes out. Now you want me to put my eyes
No.
on the situation?
I say have her go have her go like 50 feet ahead, but don't get too far ahead in case we don't know what kind of magic we're up against. So I'm saying that if we want to make sure nothing happens to Lumi, I don't want to get too far
Yeah.
behind.
Let's be up against nothing. What if it's just someone coming to mourn their family?
It literally could just be somebody lighting candles.
If you feel comfortable, go ahead. Go ahead and send her.
No, I'm saying that I feel comfortable just walking in there and saying, "Hi, my name's Sylvie Flickerwicket, and I would like to help you honor your day."
No, let's stop there. Let's go on and send with me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll send them in.
So, Lumi is going to flies just around the corner and just kind of flies a little bit further up. And did she think was she going to do what Rodek said? Like just go in and take a look and see and
just,
come
she's
back?
not gonna do like a deep investigation.
Okay.
Just more like letting us know
What's around the bend.
prepare
Okay.
for.
So she goes invisible, and you hear the kind of slight flutter of her wings as she flies around, and probably takes about a minute, and then she blinks back to you, Sylvie. She kind of leans in. You see this pixie lean in and whisper into Sylvie's ear, and she tells you that she sees candles in a ring in some kind of broader, larger courtyard built into the cemetery. A ring of candles of different colors that seem to be kind of circling on around this square courtyard, and in the center of this seems to be some kind of like memorial.
Yeah, so we hit the nail on the head of the coffin when we said that's the thing, right? You hit the nail on the head of the coffin.
It's fine.
Yeah, so we did that, both Annulin and myself, when we said that it was probably just someone honoring their dead. It's just some colored candles around
Alright.
some kind of thing.
I still think we should continue going sneakily,
Well,
stealthily.
yeah. There could be a mean bird or something over there.
Right. That's fine. Let's go.
Okay.
So I guess we'll just continue to sort of creep along.
So
Maybe like going from kind of crypt to crypt, just
Yeah.
as we approach the.
So you make your way from crypt to crypt, kind of creeping, staying very stealthy. And as you get closer, you can kind of see the glow of these candles. Looks very strange. You can kind of see that they're all along the ground as well as placed all on top of the crypts. As you can kind of see that there is a square-shaped, small little kind of courtyard area that seem to be lined with these tombs. And you can kind of see that there is multicolored candles, all alternated in it doesn't seem to be in any kind of particular pattern, but at the very least, so none of the same color is besides the same, of a purple, pink, like this sickly green, and like a bright orange. And they all kind of have these vibrant wax to them. And the color of each flame is the color of the candle, as the wax is kind of just dripping down.
Well, that's really pretty. I want those kind of candles for my room at home in Chateau Sylvie.
And so you come across kind of the entrance of this opening in the cemetery, and it kind of feels like, even though you're kind of in an opening of the tombs, you are just really kind of almost in single file in the pathway up here, and so it's still relatively very tight. The thick canopy of the bayou is tightly woven directly above you, as you see very large candles of the same colors on tops of all of these tombs. You kind of see right ahead that it seems that as you kind of get a look at the courtyard, you get the sense that they're all put in a pattern to kind of go along the entire space that's walkable.
Do we see any figures at all?
Make a perception check for me.
23.
23. You look around, and the flickering of the candlelight kind of projects some moving shadows slightly, but you do not see anything.
Do we hear any kind of like chanting or anything like that?
Rodek, you do not with the 23. Make a perception check, Annulin. 10. You do not hear any chanting. You just see kind of, you're right at the entrance here, as you see this kind of row of candles that kind of goes along the ground up on top of the tombs, and you kind of see that like in between each one there are candles along the ground, and it just continues in this manner. And you see that the cemetery seems to continue on a path kind of veered off, and it seems to, the candles seem to kind of continue along the way.
What if these candles are a way to light the path for the dead?
That might be respectable. Taiki, where did you see these hooded figures?
I told you I saw got off of my shift a little early tonight, and I
Towards
came
the
out,
entrance?
and I saw him coming down the bend. I dove into a bush and scrambled on by as I saw the creeps. I heard a cart coming. I didn't stick around in order to see what they were doing, but I didn't want to...
Maybe this is a dumb question, but is this not a common occurrence? Is that why you came to us? Why? I mean, like, if this is just someone honoring the dead, I would think that maybe this is a regular occurrence, or this candle thing is normal. But if this is out of the ordinary, is that what piqued your suspicion?
I ain't never seen no like creepy dudes in hoods walking around in the middle of the night with creepy candles lit up.
Oh, so these candles aren't normal.
I mean, I ain't no spiritual person, but I ain't never seen no people putting up spooky candles. I mean, people do like fun, kitschy tourist stuff, but seems a little bit intense for that.
Huh. And I'm going to reach into my pack and I'm going to pull out my wand of magic detection. I'm going to start going like this and looking at it. Like Bellatrix from Harry Potter.
You...
With the Count Dooku wand. The curved wand.
You place your wand over the candles, and it glows with this bright blue. But for whatever reason, even though it's kind of detecting magic, it's kind of a jumble of the information in your brain. So you're not getting a particular school.
So the candles are magical.
At least as soon as you kind of go near it, it does seem that there's some kind of magic once she gets close to where the candles are.
Oh, this is giving me a headache. I don't like it.
It doesn't tell us the type of magic.
I'm going to put my wand away.
No.
Ugh. Ouch.
Is that specifically the point of the wand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on here?
I don't like that. It's never done that before.
So the thing is, that makes me nervous, because that makes me wonder if there's a Dracula afoot.
I get a little silver shoulder.
I mean,
I don't know what that is, but
it would
it
have
doesn't
to be
sound good.
something. I would imagine. I don't actually know, but my guess is it'd have to be something pretty powerful to, glitch out the wand like that.
So are we... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, not to cut you off, sorry, buddy.
No.
Just by looking around briefly at these crypts, do any of them appear to have been disturbed or opened in any way? I don't think anybody asked that.
Make a perception check, because you're kind of all standing behind this threshold here.
15.
How much? Sorry.
15, 1-5.
15. You look around, and it doesn't look to be disturbed at all. It just looks as if someone or multiple people went around placing candles and lighting them in this manner.
Huh.
I hate to say this, but maybe we have to follow the candles.
We shouldn't go anywhere near it, though.
The candles are everywhere around us.
They're lining the path, right?
And I thought they were up on top of the mausoleums
They are.
and stuff.
So even
They're,
where we're...
literally
So we
everywhere.
can't, really avoid them.
No.
Okay. Well, let's... At least I agree. Let's just try to stealth as...
You know what else that I thought was really cool, completely off topic?
Go
These
on.
above-ground tombs look just like mausoleums. Okay, let's go.
Alright, let's go. So I guess shall we proceed?
I don't think we have a choice. I think that unfortunately the path ahead of us is well lit for us, and we have one option but to press forward.
Okay. So, you all step in across the threshold. And you kind of feel that the flickering candlelight is kind of casting you all. You look at all your comrades, and everyone seems to be this strange hue of a mixture of all of these colors. It's almost like kind of you're going into a very low-key rave, and all of the lights are going around. And you're all this flickering mixture of these bright colors that almost look like in this strange, ethereal almost like a neon, to put it in modern terms, as you're all stepping forward. And what are you gonna do? You look ahead, and there seems to be a memorial. You see a number of names or words etched into the stone all the way around. And there are 4 large stone, maybe jars, or maybe clay jars on each corner of these, each corner of this memorial.
4 jars on each corner, or one jar on each of the 4 corners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they what do they look like? Are they colored to match any of the candles?
They you look and on each one, and there doesn't seem to be any candles. They just are stone, and it's too far away for you to see what's inside. They are very large and kind of the same dull gray stone, and you can kind of see that there's kind of chips of bits of rubble broken off from years of disrepair. But they do not. There doesn't seem to be any candles inside of this courtyard area. You see that the path kind of veers up forward a little bit.
Well, let's continue. I guess we'll just do we feel any different besides the
Sylvie
weird colors?
starts to do interpretive dance, saying she wants to go that way, but by dancing, just enjoying
Lumi's
the
kind
light.
of resting in your coat. She's resting in your coat, just kind of trying to hold on as you dance. As Taiki is kind of looking around, and you can kind of see that there's a little bit of fear in her eyes at this point. And
You seem really nervous about really pretty candles.
Well, this is very strange. These are magical candles. We don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, but so is the way you say most things, and I'm not scared of you. Strange is not always bad.
You just interpretive dance pointed. Why don't we go that way?
Okay. Well, that's what I was hoping for.
so, who's in the lead?
Oh, shit.
I'll be in the lead.
Okay, Sylvie, make a perception check.
6. Perception, right?
6. Yep.
6.
I'm second in the lead.
Make a perception check. You get 2. Taiki's
I'm third in the lead.
23.
23. Okay. So, as you're walking past this memorial, you can kind of see that that it has the names of a bunch of different what seem to be gnomes. As you see, remembering all those that gave their lives to found this great town. And as you pass by Avantris, you kind of notice at the corner of your eye some movement inside one of the jars. And you hear kind of and then you hear and it seems to kind of be coming from all in every direction.
Guys, there's movement in that jar, and I'm hearing noises. Be on guard.
And as soon as you say that, you all see the same thing, as from each of the jars, a long leg, chitinous leg, kind of sticks out of them, and you hear, and a 4 spiders, one out of each jar, emerges as they all turn to look at all of you. They all have these sickly eyes that are these bright, wild colors that are the same colors as the candles, and they have these strange markings. And you guys have dealt with some giant spider creatures before, and you've seen kind of markings on spiders in the wild, but this is a wild hodgepodge of just multiple colors all going all down their back. This thick, bright poison dripping from each of their fangs. And that's when you hear the loud turn into a as the spiders are kind of emerging. The symbols on their back start to glow brighter and brighter. And
where are we right now?
I'll just say you're kind of in the center. You're all around. You're kind of all passing this memorial, heading to the next road. As
get back! And I like basically point to behind a crypt and I try to.
As you point to one of the mausoleums, one of the doors of one of the ones closer to you smashes open. As smashes right next to you, some rubble hits you, and
You take 5 points of damage.
and you see six undead creatures. Their skin mostly rotted away, as their eyes are glowing wild with the same kind of ghastly hue as the spiders in those jars, as wax pouring down from each of the mausoleum, kind of just covering their heads. And as soon as the wax hits the rotting flesh and bone, it starts to glow and kind of cover this. And I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Oh,
Spooky
fuck.
Halloween D&D.
Where's Gadget when you need him?
It is Spooktober, guys.
We finally fight undead.
Hey, no fucking Maleficarum.
And no cleric.
It is what it is, fam.
Yep.
Taiki looks around and says, I just wanted to fight guys in hoods. And she pulls out her bow and is at the ready. Okay, I need 20 to 25.
Thanks for the
Thank you
follow,
for the
Project
follow.
Katana.
Welcome. 20 to 25, nobody? 15 to 20?
17.
Oh, there we go. Oh, this is no good.
Jeez, guys.
We're just gonna get one rounded.
Okay, 5 to 10?
8.
Oh, wait,
5.
you said 15 to 20. You know, you skipped 10 to 15.
Oh, 10 to 15. That's what yeah.
I got a +9 and I got a 13.
Yeah.
So, Annulin, Vandris, what do you get?
5.
I got an 8.
5.
So.
I got a 13.
8. Oh no, sorry. That is Taiki. Did I write Taiki? Yeah. It's Ratley, it's Matthias, it's Taiki. It's just whoever I need it to be.
Got it.
And then rolling for the Munsters.
Thank you for stopping by, Project Katana.
Thank you.
We do this campaign every Wednesday. We do a different campaign every Monday with a few other campaigns sprinkled in between.
Apologies, I should have been ready for this.
I apologize.
Should I start moving aside of the map?
Oh, they both. Yes. I believe it's this bad boy. It is. Nope, it's not. It's all the same. It's all mausoleum. Oh God, of course it's the first one. Oh, I should probably.
It's the most farthest.
It's the most farthest. What?
Oh, that's fine. We can make it.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
Well, here, I'm going to slide the map closer to you then.
Yeah, just grab it. Okay. So, with that,
I'll help you.
this kind of strange, ghastly hue across these zombies and
Can I
these
have the
spiders kind of are emerging. And what did you get, Rodak?
I got an 8. For initiative?
Yeah.
8.
Okay, monsters. Come on, we'll put there. And
So, Mike, should we just be placed where roughly? Like just towards
I'll
the
place you
entrance?
guys, I'll place
Okay.
you guys.
So here's the map for anybody that
And
right
maybe
with a
probably
microphone.
Put this not
Okay.
there.
Let me move
can
the
we get
microphone.
A mini for Taiki. Yeah. Let's use Renee.
That was what I was gonna suggest.
She is a female. Boink. Boink.
So is each spider a different color, or are they all multiple
No,
colors?
yes, no, they're all multiple colors.
Okay.
And so then kind of as you see that they'll often shift to one color, fully green, and they'll kind of shift to the next.
Got it.
As So Rodek, you're gonna be right next to one of these bad boys.
Of course I am.
Okay, Rodek, put yourself there.
Here.
I'm gonna say Sylvie's in the lead, so she's kind of there. Vandris, I'm gonna say you're here. I'm gonna say Taiki's there, and then it's there.
Actually, yeah, this is the better way to do it.
I'll say you're probably right up ahead here. And then it's everyone's kind of there, and then I'm going to do one. Oh, I'm sorry. This is one right there, and then one right there. Okay, so all of these zombies are just sort of these undead creatures are just gnashing their eye, just wild with this madness. You can almost kind of see that they're even in the glow that there's like strange kind of swirling markings within like their empty eye sockets. Okay, with that, Aeon's up.
How high are like the tombs around us?
I would say that they're probably a good 10 feet up.
Okay. And so the candles are on top of them,
So yeah,
or
basically,
like are they?
and so I'll just kind of draw this out here. So
Yeah, just not-
like candles basically start here, and then they're along the ground on top of tombs, and then basically go from just around down this way. That makes sense.
Just so you know, there are two guys down here that won't be on camera. Just I'm going to point this way. But there are two guys down there. Just be aware.
Okay, I'm gonna take a step back against the tombs and like swing to my left and fire an arrow at the guy in the corner.
Okay. I'll need a number, but just. Find
Oh, which guy? This guy here or this guy over here?
The guy in the corner. Is there a guy in the corner next to me?
Oh yeah, the 6. Or in the corner
No, the
over
other
there.
one.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Renee kind of makes it a little difficult. That is number 5.
5.
Sorry, I've got another play my character. 22 to hit.
22. Could you roll again? Oh, actually, could you? I'm gonna keep that roll, but could you please make a wisdom saving throw? As you look at these things are so horrific, and it's almost as if kind of like the wax that's melting down is making them even scarier. Kind of like this magical aura that's making you even more afraid. Could you do a whiz saving throw, please?
But don't I have a secret passive of never being scared ever?
Not against horrifying.
Well, boo!
So I got a 20.
Okay, so you feel kind of this fear sort of well up a little bit, and you kind of fight it off. And so 22, that one hits.
9 damage.
9 points. The arrow sinks into the chest. It kind of chips off some of this. This one is covered in this orange wax as it kind of stumbles back, as it then just continues with its just mouth open, its claws ready to kill you.
And then I'll make an attack on the same guy.
Okay, 9 damage, number 5. Yep.
Do we need to make a wisdom saving throw for the second attack as well, or just?
Nope. It's when you start your turn within 30 feet. You make a wisdom saving throw. If you pass it, you're immune.
Got it.
Yeah, say I won't blow all my luck points to literally never be scared.
What was that, Annulin? Sorry.
16 to hit.
16 to hit. That hits. Roll damage.
Alright. 14 damage.
14 damage. Okay. 14 damage. So the second one hits, it chips away again at the wax, and it is still coming at you. Vandris, you're up.
Okay, it looks like I'm engaged with the one that's number behind me.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Yeah. So you're here.
Is there another enemy within 5 feet of it?
No.
Alright, I turn around and yell, "Duel me, bitch!" and I fight him.
Okay.
Only I don't really say that. Do I do a wisdom saving throw first?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so that's just roll and then add my whiz modifier?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. You're. Yeah.
Fuck. I got an 11.
11 misses.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a lucky point.
Okay.
For the saving throw.
Over the saving throw, it fails. Sorry, it fails regardless. Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna use a luck point.
I thought that's what he meant by saying that it misses.
It
Either
fails
way,
whatever.
it fails.
Hey, an 18.
An 18. So you feel like you're like, oh, that's not so bad. And so
Avantris remembers to himself that, hey, wait a minute, I'm not scared of anything.
there you go. Okay.
I'll attack him.
Got it.
20.
20. Okay. That hits. Roll damage.
We can't hear you.
Alright, 32 points of damage.
Holy
shit. Number what?
6.
Number 6. You after kind of stealing off this spear, you whip out Venom's spine, and you hear bones cracking as you drive your rapier into its kind of rotting, waxy flesh, doing 32 points of damage.
Yes.
To number
6.
Number 6. Wow. Okay. Doing a significant amount of damage. Kind of stumbles. It's kind of that, looking at you with wild eyes. Okay. It is the spider's turn. So with that, we're going to have them move around and here, and then blah 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 there, blah blah there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are going to all just kind of walk on over, and we're going to get a bite attack against. We're going to get a bite attack against Vanders. That's going to be a natural 20.
Wait, I'm going to uncanny dodge.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. 16 points of piercing damage. As the fangs sink into you and make a con saving throw, you feel this venom start to seep into your blood.
Boo.
Oh no.
Natural 1, so I got 3.
Okay. And so you take 7 more points of poison damage as it sinks in.
Jesus, Lord Almighty.
And then
And all of a sudden, I was thinking 73 life was a lot.
And then Rodek, you see this one spider start to kind of start to have this thick white substance kind of form in its mouth, and it just completely sprays you in webbing. Can you please make I need a hit. 19 to hit.
That'll do. Yeah, that'll do.
19. You are completely coated in this horrific webbing, and you are now restrained. Okay.
All right.
With that, it's their turn. It's going to make a web attack against Sylvie. That is going to horrifically miss. You manage to easily dodge out of the webs. And this one's going to try to bite Anulin, and it is going to miss horribly. Okay. It is Tyke's turn.
I see how it is.
So she says like I don't like this, and she pulls out a arrow. She pulls it back, and she kind of starts chanting in this strange tongue, and the arrow starts to glow blue as it kind of lights up. She fires it at one of the spiders.
Interesting.
And that is going to be hit.
I think so.
And that is going to. Sorry, hold on. It fires into it, and it is going to deal some damage here. That is going to be some damage. It pierces the zombie that is coming directly towards her, and you can kind of see it grabbing its head as this arcane blue energy starts racking its mind, and she's going to just fire another arrow, and that's still going to hit, and this is just a normal arrow, and it fires in. It does a good amount of damage here. Okay, with that, it is their turn, and so yeah, 3 of my guys in a row, And with that, we're just going to run up here.
And then it's going to sprint to get here.
And they're all kind of just gnashing and just like, they're ready to devour your flesh. So with that, we're going to get 2 claw attacks in here. One on Rodak that's going to hit. Another on Rodak that is going to miss. So the claw attacks are...
The web one didn't do any damage.
No, you're restrained though. Is it advantage if you're restrained?
Yeah, can you read it just so we both know?
Restrained. Yep. Okay. So they both hit.
Okay. This is fine.
7 plus 10 plus 17 points of slashing damage as it just rakes your flesh. Okay, and then we're gonna get another 2 attacks on.
Wait, that was from 2 attacks?
Yeah.
And are they both just slashing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna hit against restrained. That's gonna hit against restrained and Rodak. That is going to be 7.
Take 11 damage total, so...
Plus 4 plus
9.
4 plus. That's going to be 12 points of slashing damage. Okay.
From 1 attack or 2 attacks?
2 attacks. And so these 2 are going to run up on attack Taiki. Both are going to hit. Okay. As Taiki is getting slashed, like, oh, this is horrible, and then 2 more attacks, and then that's it. We have 1 zombie on, that's a spider on Annulan. 1 is going to be on Avantris. One is going to slash you across the chest, Avantris. That is going to be 4 plus 10 points of slashing damage, and then as it slashes you, it then kind of its mouth gets open and its wild magic eyes just look at you, and all of a sudden you feel like there's some kind of strange hex or curse trying to come over you. And could you please make a Wiz saving throw?
I would love to, provided it's not any kind of magic sleep or a charm.
It is not.
Okay. So you said whiz?
Wiz. Yep.
That's unfortunate. Hey, a 19!
19. You start to feel it, and then you kind of resist this magical aura. And then, and then Sylvie, it's going to make an attack against you, and it's going to miss. And then it's going to natural 1. So this one is just horrifically failing, flailing, and then that is all of them. Okay, Roderick, you're up.
So I'm disadvantaged when I attack, or no?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to...
No, you don't. No.
I'm not.
No,
so
no.
just there attack.
Yes, you're busy.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, how hardy do the spiders look? Are they like big, chunky spiders?
I would say make a nature check.
We did say in D&D, but not in a professional setting.
8.
You have no way of knowing.
Okay. What I will do is I will attack. Well, so it would take an action to break out, right?
Okay. Yep. You break out.
Well,
He's asking.
I'm asking.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
it be a full action to break out?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to. Let's just try 1 round. I'm gonna use the attack action,
Okay.
and I'm going to attack. Ooh, what do I want to do? I think I want to attack these zombies.
Okay.
So I'm going to attack zombie number 2. That is a. I'll just roll for both. So the first one is a 22.
Okay.
The second was a 13.
Both hit.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I would like to make the first one a menacing attack.
Okay.
So they have to make it a Wiz save.
Got it. That'll be 12.
That fails.
Okay.
So he is afraid of me until the end of the beginning of my next turn, or end of my next turn. So let me just roll some damage there. So it's 2d6 plus my superiority dice is now a d10, which is great. I reroll that. Not bad. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 damage for my first attack.
What?
23 damage to number 2.
23. Okay.
Yeah, slashing.
Your massive sword slashes and kind of guts. You hear the shattering of bone as dust just kind of sprays your face in wax chips.
So that applies a wounds, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I can't apply multiple wounds per turn, so he just has 1 wounds. And then, so the second one will deal, I'm just going to make it a normal attack. Let's just do 2d6. Reroll both. That's pleasant. 5. 5 plus 6 is 11 damage.
11 damage. Number 2. Okay. You slash. This one is kind of, you get tripped up a little bit and you don't do as much damage, but it's looking like it could be, rough a little bit. Okay, Sylvia, you're up.
I am going to move into the square diagonal from Avantris. I'm going to take an opportunity attack to do it.
Okay.
Where it's...
So like here?
Nope.
Here?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to roll that right now. That is going to be an 8 plus 5, 13.
Nope.
Misses.
And then I'm going to use Fate Presence.
Okay.
So all 4 of them have to make a Wisdom saving throw against a 19.
Okay, all 3 of them, or 4?
4.
4.
So it's 10 feet. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Natural 1. Against a 19 whiz. There's no way. Okay, nope. Fail. That corpse spider behind you, the 4, that got a natural 20, so that succeeds. And then the other zombie, 3. Fails.
So all the zombies fail.
All except for the spider closest to Nick.
Perfect. So they're all frightened.
Okay.
For until the end of my next turn.
Okay. So you see Sylvie start to channel her fate presence as she steps forward, and you're
never used this before.
And you've seen this once before, right?
No, I don't think I've ever used this
I think
before.
you've used it maybe once or twice
I think
before.
you've used it once or twice before, and you haven't really seen this many times. You remember kind of this brilliant, blazing, pink, horrific, blinding beauty like fucking Galadriel from Fellowship of the Ring. And that's exactly what I was envisioning.
Yeah.
And this time, Sylvie, you step forward, and all of a sudden this erupting, horrific figure, radiating this sickly green and gray and browns, as you see this figure and you hear and all of a sudden all of the zombies look at you, and one of the spiders, if they could show fear, just like they kind of cower. One seems to kind of blink a little bit and shield its eyes with 2 legs.
So
and
anyone that attacks them between now and the end of my next turn has advantage on those ones.
Oh, really?
That's what Frighten does.
Okay. Is that it?
It has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. Oh, never. It has disadvantage.
No, it's disadvantage, and it can't
Sorry.
willingly move closer.
Yeah.
Sorry, it has disadvantage on its attack rolls.
So
I just
2
quickly
is
read it.
frightened down here, and then all the 3 up there are frightened.
Yep.
So we have 4 there.
Take back my ND flex.
Sorry.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, I might actually do something. Just give me 1 quick second. And then no, I'm good.
Okay, Aemon, you're up.
Okay, I am going. Is the spider in front of me damaged?
Yes, right? No, none of the spiders are damaged. Nope.
Left. Okay. Can I, if I were to take my arrow, could I reach it above me and light it on fire with the candles?
I would say you can certainly. There's one down next.
Try.
We lost you for like a good 30 seconds.
Oh, really?
The audio cut out.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear us now?
Shit.
Okay, so you can. There's candles on the ground. You can probably just press it down and try to light it that way.
Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought the candles were above me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just would want to pull an arrow and try to light the tip of it on fire, and then fire it at the spider in front of me at disadvantage.
Okay, so you reach down, and I say that's probably easy enough, and you light it on fire and make a dex check actually for me. Straight dex.
So +5.
Why is it? Oh, I got it.
Yeah, 9's the saving throw.
23. So you managed to effortlessly get it, despite it being kind of colored. As soon as the flame transfers to your arrow, it returns that same familiar fire color, and you fire it at the spider.
Very cool.
That is 15 at disadvantage.
15 that hits.
Nine damage.
9 damage, and then roll an extra 1d4 in fire damage.
That's 3.
3. So the arrow flies into the spider, and it kind of it goes from the little bit of fire damage it does. And then second attack.
Can I just say I would have fired 2 of them at the same time? Or is that...
2 what?
I'll just say I fired another arrow. I was just going to say if I could have fired 2 at the same time, but I just...
Or like lit 2 at the same time?
No, and I would say you'd have to call it. It'd be difficult to do. For the free object interaction, I'll give you 1, but I would not give you more than that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just fire another disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Twenty.
20 hits, full damage.
$16.
16 points of damage. Okay. This arrow definitely finds a weak spot as it sinks into one of the kind of markings on its back, and this bright, thick, goopy, multicolored liquid is just spewing out of it. It's shrieking. It's looking pretty weak. Vanish, you're up.
Okay. I am still stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm gonna turn my sights on the big old spider next to me.
Okay.
Do I have to roll wisdom?
Nope.
Interesting. I will just attack the giant spider.
You're immune.
I'm not. Can you hear me?
What? Hello? Yeah, no, you're immune. Once you pass it, you're immune.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if it was every round or if it was
Nope.
just for the round. Sorry. Okay, I'm rolling to attack.
Okay, roll.
17.
17. That hits.
That's 10, 17, 15, 22, 28 points of damage.
To spider number what? Or
Big old spider 1, I think. It looks like
Oh,
one,
yeah, I
don't
got you.
know.
Spider 1.
Yeah. Your rapier stabs in once again, and you're kind of sprayed a little bit with this thick, multicolored blood, and it's kind of shrieking. It's looking pretty rough too.
So then I'm going to use my movement because he can't take an opportunity attack on me to back up one and
Okay.
rotate around the zombie to be catty corner to Nikki on the other side.
Cool.
Yep, perfect. Thank
There
you.
you are.
You stab it and then just dodge around the spider, and you're easily able to get out. Okay, now it is the... Is it spiders or zombies?
I think spiders go
Spiders.
first.
Spiders go first. Okay, so with that, we are just going to go do a web attack on Avantris. That's going to be a natural 1. We're going to do a bite attack on Sylvie. That is going to be 17.
I believe that hits,
Okay.
and if it does, I'm going to use Misty Escape.
Okay, so it still does the damage, correct? So it sinks in, doing 9 points of piercing damage. This fangs sink in, and so you miss the escape, but also please do a con saving throw for me.
Is it magic?
It is not. It's poison. We are going to do a web attack on you, Anulin, and that is going to miss.
20.
20. So you feel the poison, you're able to force it out. And so with that, it is Taiki's turn. And so she is...
and then can you Misty Escape me over? Oh,
she,
Where?
with her bow, she sees the
just closer towards you.
the zombies on either side.
How far is it?
And she's like, I don't like this. And she just fires the one directly in front of her at a
60.
disadvantage.
So get me as far away as you can.
That's going to hit. This is your standard. To number 3. To number 3 that is coming at her.
Oh, that was a disadvantage, right? What hit me?
Was that?
The spider was a disadvantage.
Yes.
I'm frightened.
Yeah. No, all the spiders went. All the spiders went. So they all did the thing. So just Taiki's turn. She's going to deal. Number 3.
You're just back here. You're like way back here.
And so, as she turns at the one that's facing her, she fires, and you hear a loud as the arrow flies through, and then the wax is chipping away on this green wax zombie, and it collapses to the ground. So number 3 is dead.
Oh shit.
And she's going to turn around and fire at number 2 that Aelin had been working on, and that is going to hit, and she's going to roll damage.
Zombie 2?
Zombie 2.
Zombie 2's over
Zombie
here.
5, sorry.
5, okay, got it.
Zombie 5. And that is going to be barely enough. And with all of some of the arrows in it, she follows up, fires into number 5, and it lets out a gurgle, kind of pukes up this strange, sickly green substance and collapses to the ground. Okay?
Woo!
And she's going to back up kind of towards Anulan Catty-Corn in the corner of the room there.
Like here?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
And so she says, "Oh, thank God." Okay. And then finally, it is the zombie's turn. We are going to get a claw attack on Rodek. That's going to be a natural 1. We're going to get a horrific gaze on Rodek. That is going to be 12. Oh, wait, no. Can you make a whiz saving throw, Rodek?
Oh, fuck. 10.
So its eyes go wild with this strange hue, and you kind of feel this strange magic come over you. You're disadvantaged on all attack rolls until the end of your next turn. And
Which I already am. Real quick though, number 2 has to make a 1d4.
What's the DC? Oh, just
So first take 1d4 damage.
4 damage.
Okay.
Necrotic damage. Number what? 4?
To number 2.
Number 2.
And then he makes a con saving throw. It's a DC 15.
Okay. And you've attacked number 2 twice?
I've attacked twice, yes.
Okay. That's enough. As the wound, you feel a festering necrotic wound from King Krem's sword.
Yes!
Starts to eat away at his eyes. The lights go out and he collapses down.
I love it.
Okay. Cool.
God, coming in handy.
It's dead, and so number 2 doesn't go. Okay. So number 4 did hit you, but you are feared. You are disadvantaged. Okay, so there are how many left? Just 2 more. They're both on Avantris,
And they
so
both have disadvantage.
they both have disadvantage. Okay, so 1 is going to claw at you with disadvantage, and is going to fail horrifically. The other is going to it's then going to claw. I do have your AC 17.
My AC is 18.
18, that's right.
Okay, it's going to slash.
Dusty,
oh, thank you,
thank
Dusty.
you, Dusty. 3
Yay.
months.
Thanks, Dusty.
It
No,
slashes
dude, that-
across your flesh. Thank
You're
you
the
so much,
best.
Dusty.
Really appreciate
I'm gonna use my uncanny dodge on this attack.
Okay, that will be a 9 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
And then, that was 2, and so that's going to horribly fail, and then make a whiz saving throw, and his eyes go wild. Whiz saving throw, Danners.
Oh, sorry, my fault. 15.
15 passes as you kind of feel the strange hex come over you, and you manage to resist it. Okay, with that, it is Rodek's turn.
All right. I would like to turn to the next zombie fellow, scared and entangled, but I steel myself, and I will
Where's more of a curse or hex or something?
Oh, so something like a fear.
Yeah, no, you're
Okay.
not afraid.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that strange, like, like caw from Jungle Book.
Oh, I got you. Like,
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
okay,
It kind of
yeah.
goes wild with those strange markings.
Well, one was a natural 20, but I got a 17. Damn
Sorry,
it.
fam. It hits.
And then the second attack will be a 19.
19, both hit.
Okay. I am going to... You know what? Let's make this one a sweeping attack, because I've never used this before.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
So, the first attack... So, basically, here's what I do. I roll 2d6 and a d10, which is my superiority die. Nice. So, I roll 6, so it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage to this guy.
17 damage, number 4.
But then my sword comes through,
Okay.
and 5 damage goes to the spider.
To number 2. Spider number 2.
Spider number 2, yeah.
So your massive greatsword giant cutlass slices through. It kind of you hear the loud cracking as it slices through the armor of the spider, the chitinous armor, and it is looking. They're both damaged.
Thanks for the
Thank
cheers,
you,
man.
Mayo. Love
Thank
you.
you.
And then the second attack does double ones. I re-roll them. 6, 7, 8, 14 damage.
Number 4 again.
Number 4. Yep.
Okay.
And as my bonus action, I am just going to second wind.
Okay. You channel your training and kind of steel yourself a little bit, and you feel a little bit better after slicing it again. And they have both wounds, right? 2 ranks.
No, I only apply 1 a turn, so
Okay.
I will apply it to zombie
Cool.
fellow.
Okay, Sylvia, you're up.
I am going to the zombie that is like closest to the wall. I don't.
Okay.
Rich, can you tell me? What number it is?
Which one? This one here?
Yeah.
1. That's number 1.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
A natural 20 on one of them and 20 regular 20 on the other one.
They both hit. Obviously.
So
The first natty 20 we've had in a while.
Yeah.
16 for my natural 20. And
A
then,
10 and a 1. Oh, D10. Ooh.
and then 6 for so 16 plus 6.
So 22 points of damage.
To the
You
zombie.
stick your hand out, and kind of that glitter lamp, that sparkly pink blast fires out of your hand and smashes into number 1. It's kind of singeing away a lot of its bone and the wax. You can kind of see the wax melting more where it had hardened for 22 points of damage. That's number 1. Okay.
Oh, and then as a bonus action, I'm gonna sing out to Vandris. You can kill a spider, you can kill a ghoul, lighting things on fire. That's really all I've got. Fuck, Lumi, teach me more, goddammit.
This is really cool.
Oh, that would have been great, Rodak. Anyway, you feel inspired, Vandris.
He's wet. You're like, ah.
That's great. And I just give him bardic
I'm gonna
inspiration.
shout across the court.
It's
I
attack
don't
rolls
actually shout
and
that.
saving throws, so.
Okay. Annual, you're up.
Okay, using my bonus action, I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
You pull back, you knock your arrow, and you channel the power of nature, this green kind of energy, this like natural green infuses your arrow. You kind of see little thorns start to sprout out as you're ready to fire.
Alright, and I am going to make an attack on the spider that is by Vandris.
Okay. You're giving Vander some support as you fire into that.
The spider is number 4.
The spider.
At the spider, and I'm going to shout at Vandris, Duck!
I have evasion. I got you, buddy.
I can do my dance. Evasion!
20 to hit.
Hits.
And is that one damaged?
4 is not, no.
So it's normal damage from the arrow on him, and then all 4 of them will have to make a dex saving throw.
Okay, I'm doing the 2 zombies right now. Both get 20s.
Oh, fuck.
The spider gets a 10.
No, the spider too, right?
No,
No.
just the group
Oh,
of 4.
And
oh.
Vander just needs to make it.
God, he's the 4th. Okay.
Okay, so damage from the arrow onto the spider is 12 damage.
12, okay.
I see.
Sinks in.
Did I have to make a dex saving throw?
You do, yes.
Sorry. Ooh, 12.
12.
What the fuck? It's dex! You
That's-
always roll high.
That fails.
No, not for my. It's only +8. It's
So
not.
you take half damage
it's not
on
like-
this.
Yeah, I take half of whatever.
It's
you
plus
gave me.
9. It should be plus 9.
Why?
Our proficiency went up like 2 levels ago. A level or 2
All right,
ago.
well it's a 13. not gonna be enough.
Yeah, spell save is 15.
I don't get like advantage on it, so it's like
But you
So
take
back
half
to roll
damage.
back. Right.
Wait, what's
so
the damage
what
on the
did
Hail
you
of
do?
Thorns, by the way?
So, I'm sorry, say it again.
What's the damage on the Hail of Thorns?
So it's 1d10 on failed and half of that on success.
Okay.
We'll just roll it. He was asking what the damage was.
2.
2 damage. As soon as it hits the spider, it explodes into thorns. Vandus gets some thorns in his side, taking 1 point of damage. The others are getting. The spider takes 2 of the thorns. The others take 1. Number four takes 2 thorns. And what is that? Number 1 and number 6.
Yeah.
Number 1 and number. Okay. Explosion of thorns. Is that it?
I'll just make my second attack on the spider in front of me at disadvantage.
Yep.
14 to hit.
14 misses. As you're trying to fire it, the leg kind of sweeps up and knocks your bow out of the way, and you miss. And vanish up.
Oh, baby, you know what time it is.
Green flame of blame!
Yes.
Alright, so I'm going to attack the spider in front of me.
Okay.
And I must make a melee attack. Upon a successful attack, green fire deals 1d8 and then jumps to another target within 5 feet. I'm going to jump to the guy who is to Vandris's left.
Got it.
The one I already attacked.
6, yep.
Alright, so I will make an attack. I got a 25.
Hits.
So it's going to be my normal damage plus 1d8 fire damage
Okay.
to the spider, and then I'll roll for the other guy.
Spider's number 6 that you're attacking?
I can't see it.
Spider number 4. Sorry.
Okay, number 4, sorry. There's no, yeah.
9, 12, 17. 7 is 22. So 28 points of damage to number 4, which is pretty weak.
It's still enough. You stab it through its spider head, and it kind of sprays you with neonish blood and collapses to the ground.
And then 1d8 plus 2 to the zombie to my left.
Okay, 1d8 plus 2.
So that's 6. Spider 6.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. The spider engulfs in flame as soon as you stab it through the eye, and all of a sudden the flame leaps up, and it's kind of melting the wax, this kind of ripping its face off as it's patting itself, and its eyes kind of dim amidst your green flame, and it dies.
All right.
Double kill.
Wait, it kills the zombie too?
Yeah, 6.
And then I'm gonna end my turn there because I don't want to disengage.
Okay, Monsters 1. We have So, one is going to run at Vandris, and it's going to shoot web. Yep, it's going to shoot a web, and that is going to be a natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
But it's just a web, so you're just really webbed.
Oh, okay.
It spews a globule of thicky.
You are disadvantaged though, so for rogues it sucks.
Yeah, you're disadvantaged until you break out. And then I think that's all it can do. There's no. Yes. And then with that, we're going to get an attack on Rodek because he's advantaged. Oh, he's feared, isn't he? Oh, wait, the spider's feared.
Which spider?
No, the spider was the one that was not.
No, that one was
okay.
not. No.
So yeah, sorry. Rodek, this one is going to hit you. Its fangs sink into you. That is going to be dealing. Oh.
This is piercing, normal,
Piercing.
natural weapon.
Yep. So it's a spider. 14 points of piercing damage, con saving throw versus poison.
So advantage, right? 20 something.
Yeah.
23.
Okay, that's going to be that, and then we're going to get
16 points.
16 points of damage, and then this one is just going after you, Annulin. That is going to hit, and it's going to deal 11 points of piercing damage as it bites you, and then make a con saving throw for me, Annulin, please. 20. Okay, you pass. Both of you feel a poison trying to see them. You manage to resist it. And I believe that's everybody that has to go. Okay. Taiki is kind of backing up, and she is going to pull out another arrow and pull back and fire at what looks weak here. I'm able to see this. This is a little bit pulling behind the curtain. She's going to pull back at zombie number 1. Where is he?
Zombie number 1 is...
she's going to go for number 4.
It's over here.
It's on Rodek.
Okay.
She's going to fire at number 1. And that is going
Music
to
could
hit.
be a little louder, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So it fires in and just pierces through the zombie's neck, kind of hearing a loud crack of the spine. The light goes dim, and it collapses to the ground. The zombie next to you is dead.
Great.
Number 4.
She's got, what, 3 killing
Okay.
blows at least?
Yeah. And what's the spider on your radar?
Spider is number 2.
She's just going to go on the one because she's already aiming there. That's still going to hit. Her arrow flies in and is going to deal. Okay, does some damage. Okay, with that, it is Zombie's turn. Are there any zombies left? Okay.
Yeah, on Avantris.
On Avantris. He's going to go in for 2 claw attacks here. One's going to be a natural 20.
Fuck.
The other one's going to
I'm
be...
gonna uncanny dodge that one.
There's going to be a 17, so it's going to miss. As this one managed to kind of get you right across the ribs here. And then you're going to take a lot, not that much damage, just D4s. 8, 9, 11, plus 3. 14 points of slashing damage, so you take half of that.
Oh yeah, just 14.
Just 14. It slashes
No
in.
biggie.
And then the other one does hit too. So...
No, it was a 17.
Oh, 17 doesn't it? You're
It's
right.
18
I'm
AC.
sorry. And with that, it is...
Thanks, Orpheus is
their
dead.
turn. Okay, Rodek, you're up.
Alright, I would like to... I'm just going to attack this dumb old spider twice.
Okay.
First attack. Hot 13. That
13
misses.
to the spider misses.
Another nat of 20, but I got a 16 instead, so that is a 26.
You feel yourself, the strange hex has worn off on you, I believe. Yes. But you're trying to struggle against these webs, and you're not able to hit this spider that's right in front of you.
Pretty good. 16 damage.
60 damage? Okay.
And I'll apply a wound.
60 damage, number what?
To number 2.
Okay. Oh, and Taiki also did damage from that, so I'm going to do 12, 16. Okay, you slice into it. The necrotic magic from the sword seeps in. It's looking pretty rough. Sylvia, you're up.
Number whatever against the wall again. And that's 22.
Hits.
The zombie against the wall here?
Yeah.
1.
8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. The first blast hits it, and it's looking really rough as it's like the head is tilting.
And then 28 for the second hit.
Hits.
And then 8 damage.
8 points of damage. The second lance just flies in, and you can kind of see it burst a hole through. It goes directly through, crashes against the mausoleum, and splashes, and it just kind of clatters to the ground as it loses its stability. Number 1 is dead. Anyone, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to fire yet another arrow at this giant spider in front of me.
Okay. The 1v1, Aelin and a spider.
Okay, that is 29 to hit.
29. Okay, that hits. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, bud.
Oh, yeah, there. I like your axe.
$14 damage.
14 damage to number. Sorry, what number is that, Rich?
Number 3.
14 damage. That's enough. Finally, after the one-on-one with Anulan, she puts an arrow right into one of the colorful markings. It kind of lets out a and then just collapses to the ground dead.
Okay, and I'm going to whip around and fire my second arrow at the spider by Avantris.
Okay.
Natty 20.
Yeah, roll damage. Roll damage, fam.
It's just double dice, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's 13. Same thing.
13 damage to number 1. After killing the one, you fire and give Vandus once again cover fire. It flies in right through its head, collapses. There's a pile of corpses around you, Vandus. And now you're up.
So how does the sticky webbing actually work? Am I only disadvantaged against the guy?
You're
who
restrained and you can't move. Your speed becomes 0, so you use your action to break out of it.
I would like to do that. Is is a strength check, unfortunately.
It's a strength check, yep.
I will give it my all. I'll dig deep and eat my spinach.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Roll well. 17.
17. Yep, you managed to break out. So you just kind of, and you're just ripping apart all of this thick webbing that was just holding you back.
Am I no longer disadvantaged?
Nope.
So that's my action. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'll use my bonus action to disengage and run towards Taiki.
Okay, you run up to Taiki. And with that, it's Monsters 2, which are the spiders.
Spoilers.
And this one is just going to chase after you. And then that one's staying there after Rodak.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to sink its fangs. It's 2 dice I've lost. Sink its fangs into Vander's, but it's going to miss. You manage to dodge out of the way as it makes a bite attack. Rodak, this one's advantage against you. That is definitely going to hit. So you're going to enjoy a good amount of damage here. No. This is piercing, though. 14 points of piercing damage. I mean, con saving throw versus poison.
Sec.
As Rodak is getting eaten by this spider, Taiki is up. She's just going to fire 2 arrows.
27.
27. You pass. She's going to fire 2 arrows at that, and natural 1 and a 2. So she fires both and says, "Well, those are my first misses, so I'll take it." And no zombies. They're dead. Rodak, you're up.
All right. He has to roll his wound. His wound.
Oh. 1 wound.
Yeah, 1d4 and then a con saving throw.
3 points of damage, number 2. Yeah. And con saving throw perfectly fails.
Okay.
And then with that, you see the necrotic damage kind of eating away at this spider over the ground.
I'm going to attack. That is a 15.
15 hits, barely.
I'll just roll damage for that real quick. We'll do, that's horrible, 12 damage.
How do you want to do this?
Well, there's one left. Number 1's still alive.
Oh, sorry.
I kill it.
The camera's covering most of this battle, so I don't.
Oh, sorry.
You kill the spider. You slice it down the middle.
Okay.
Despite being restrained in webbing.
Dead.
It's me?
It's you.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the one that's still alive.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Number 1.
Sorry.
Number 1's still alive.
19.
Okay. Hits.
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. The first arc flies in, hits it. It is looking incredibly wounded as you blast off 2 of its legs.
And it's 27.
That hits. How do you want to do this? It has 1 hit point left.
I'm just gonna explode its head with glitter.
Okay. So as you fly, as the Eldritch
Would've been 11.
Blast flies in, it smashes into the head and kind of goes in one of the eye sockets, and just it's all of its glowing eyes glows with its bright pink that is very Sylvie pink, and just, it explodes and collapses to the ground dead. And you are now.
I immediately tell him, we just made a lot of noise. We have to get down. We have to hide.
I don't know if hiding is gonna fix the amount of noise that we've made.
I'm with being stealthy here, but to be honest with you, that fight took way more out of me than I expected. I'm feeling a little woozy.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna cast 5th level Cure Wounds on Avantris.
Okay.
Jesus!
You play a little ditty on your flutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little ditty on your.
A little ditty on my flute.
Play your flute. You feel very helpless.
Why are you not letting me? Where are you?
It would be like 5d what?
Yeah.
5d8s, I think.
Mm-hmm. So that is 15, 21.
Titan kind of stumbles forward as she's like holding her bow and looks, and she, her
28
hand,
health misses.
hope that didn't take too much out of you, but I appreciate the help. That's very nice of you.
It's okay.
Can we at least get behind one of these mausoleums and just keep going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good to go. I feel 1,000 times better. I would never hold you guys back regardless.
What the hell? Have you ever seen anything like this?
I haven't seen anything. I mean, I saw the ghosts and shit before, but I ain't never seen this. This is...
I mean, I don't mean to be a party pooper, but there are often times that I open jars and there are spiders in them. And we are in a cemetery, and it goes to show there would also be zombies. So I know that you think this is weird, but it seems pretty normal to me.
I feel like Genji would know so much about this.
It's a shame we don't have any way to contact him, but I would say for now, again, our only way forward is to follow the candlelit path, more or less, and we can't stop now. We're clearly onto something. This feels evil to me.
Right, there's something going on, but this feels nothing like Alphonse, or this feels nothing like Garou or anything.
I mean, there's always the chance that this is completely unrelated, but that's what Heroes for Hire do. We find what we need to find and we solve it.
We're trying to stop this.
I better. There'd be a lot of gold at the end of this cemetery.
It comes. It's sort of like parallel lines, you know, like we're helping people.
Like
that happens
you do
to
nice
treasure.
things, and then people just throw money and magical items at you.
Right.
Don't say that, because then Taiki's gonna get the wrong idea, and I told her we didn't promise her any money.
Well, I'm getting money for this. I mean, I am already a mess in spider goop and zombie goop, and it's all waxy.
Oh, can I break out?
I'm gonna prestidigitation her clean.
And she also prestidigitations, as you're both prestidigitating. And it's like, oh, thanks, we can really hear. Here you go, here, have one.
Oh, thanks. I didn't really get hit much, but that's fine.
I mean, you look, your boots are a little money. It's fine. It's fine.
How dare you?
I'm just call it like I see. Okay, it's fine. They look
That's
nice.
how they were made. They're supposed to look like leaves.
I don't know the fashion sense. I've never been one
it's
of
a
fashion.
fae thing, whatever.
Maybe it's a fad. Maybe it's a fad. It's fine. Okay.
No,
let's
it's
go.
a fae. Ugh.
A fade. Okay, let's go.
That works.
And so I'm gonna be in the back. You guys can run up and get in all the candle business.
I'd be happy to take the lead.
Well, hold on. Who's the most perceptive?
I'm up there.
Definitely me.
What's your
It's most likely Sylvie.
on a scale of 1 to 20? What's your perception, Magnus?
Mine
To quantify that would be something called metagaming, and the DM might reach over and slap you.
I think Annulin's probably the most perceptive, if I were to guess.
Sylvie, it's wisdom.
It's wisdom. Sylvie's not wise.
Really?
Hey, speak for yourself.
Out of character, really?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's
Warlocks are
wisdom
charisma.
is like a druid, cleric, ranger thing.
Bards
Oh, well, then we're fucked.
Bards and warlocks are charisma based.
I think
Well,
Annulin
no,
should take the lead.
thinking about perception, I'm gonna be just flitting around and I'm gonna kick over some of the candles and see what happens.
Wise of you, Annulin.
Well,
So you're gonna attempt to make an attack roll, please.
Oh, fuck.
$28. No, wait.
Plus its strength.
Hold on. Is it an unarmed attack?
It's an unarmed attack, yeah.
Okay, then 22.
22, you kick it, and as you kick it, there's one on the ground, and your foot hits it, and it you almost stumble, and it doesn't move after you kick it. As it's kind of...
Annulin almost kicked that candle so hard it put Lufty to shame.
Who?
So it didn't move at all.
No. I mean, it kind
Did
of
anyone
moved...
see that happen?
I guess what I've seen it.
I would say people saw an
Okay.
alien kick a candle and then kind of like almost stumble forward. Titan
I
kind
don't
of
like
reaches
this.
over a hand to like, you okay, honey?
Alright.
Okay.
Alright.
I'll
Hold
be
on.
like, I'm fine and just play it off.
Smooth.
Let me see if I can cut the candle in two with Venom Spine. So I draw Venom Spine and I just want to, one swift motion, try to cut the candle in two.
Okay, make an attack roll, please.
25.
25, it hits. Roll damage, please.
It's me one-on-one versus the candle, right? There's no enemies within 5 feet?
No.
Thank goodness.
Can it be sneak attacked though?
We'd be here all night. I need a calculator. Okay. I'm rolling. $27.
You slice through halfway through one of the pink candles, and the top flies off as your blade just makes contact with it. And you wait a moment. You can kind of see that there's the little beginning of the wick, or where you slice the candle in half. You wait several seconds, and then slowly a pink flame emerges where you cut off.
Okay, I stop and I look at the rest of the group and I say, alright guys, I gotta go. I
This
gotta go
is
home.
really-
I can't be here, I gotta leave.
This is a very valuable use of our time.
Can we go? Let's go.
We could go, but this is valuable. I sense the sarcasm in your voice, Sylvie, but this is valuable.
I thought we had already determined they were weird, kind of creepy, very powerful candles.
But now we know more. We know more than we did before. We'll carry on. We'll continue.
I had just
All right,
assumed...
Annulin, you lead the way and you just look around.
It's so cute walking around with a bunch of non-magic users.
Alright, so I'll shuffle to the front and kind of like,
My
creep.
experience is very limited. I can make my arrows do special things, and that's it.
You can make yourself...
For the record, just because I'm not very talented doesn't mean I'm not magical.
Well, I mean, you're an elf, but does that really count?
No,
You
let's
can do
go.
anyway.
I like the cut of your chin, Sylvie. It's good.
So we continue onward through the cemetery.
You continue onward through the cemetery. You continue to creep along. Once again, the kind of faint glow of flickering multicolored candles is casting that strange, eerie hue across everything, and including your persons. As you're walking through continually, you
did I see any traps on the ground?
make an investigation or perception.
Tracks would be
Track would be
survival
survival.
usually.
Yes. Thank you.
23.
23. You do. You see kind of like the ground is covered in a lot of grass, but it's so wet that you can kind of see the soft indentations, especially where there is no grass and there's mud. It's kind of all overgrown, and you can make out a number of what seem like boot prints in heading deeper towards the into the cemetery, and you also find the tracks of what seem to be a much smaller shoe, almost as like a heel, as if there's like a heel in a boot.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna just point to the heel on the ground and kind of motion for the group to look at it, and then keep moving forward stealthily.
I look at
I want to put up a hand, and again silently motion to Rodek and go like this.
Would I have any idea what the... Hold on. You're doing this?
What the fuck are you doing?
You
Are we
guys...
being silent? Why would she fucking...
you guys know that boot prints are fairly common in the cemetery?
Well, this is... I mean, that's fair. It could be. But it's weird that, like...
If there's a boot print in a cemetery?
Well, we don't... should anyone even be here? This is very old. I feel like this
I mean,
is...
can I tell that they're fresh or?
I would say with that roll, you can tell that they're within the past couple hours.
Shit.
Taiki literally talks about how she comes here after work.
And I would say that we probably should just take the things that Taiki say at face value. No offense.
So
I
you
trust
do
her with my
bring
life,
married men
but I wouldn't
here.
trust her with other certain things. No offense.
No, I never done that. Never did that. Nope.
My point is, Rodek, don't forget you've got the old goggles. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, to investigate?
That's all I'm saying is that maybe There may come a time
All
when
right,
you may
you're
need
right.
to help me investigate some
I
things.
totally forgot. I will keep these very safe, and I'll put them like around my neck. The eyes of minute seeing, the eyes
Okay.
of minute seeing.
You put
Yes.
on the eyes of minute seeing. Well, I don't think we're going to get much more from this. So you're leading Annulin? We're going, so we're creeping.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm right behind her.
We're creeping around, leaving the tracks behind. And as you curve around one more, it's kind of going deeper and deeper into the bayou here. And you see that it kind of opens up once again into another small courtyard area. And this, where the memorial was standing, you see a statue. And you are far back enough to see that there are candles, once again, kind of fanning out on the tops of the mausoleums. And you see that there is the statue seems to be humanoid, and it has two hands up to the sky. And you creep a little bit forward, and can you make a perception check for me, anyone?
$27.
27. Okay. From pretty far off, you can see that there's that same level of still over the cemetery. But you notice that on the statue, there are candles around it as well. And in its hands are hanging what look like wooden masks. They are carved, painted in the same four colors, very intricately carved with these swirling designs. They both have these large teeth of these big smiling faces and large oval eyes hanging. There's no hole to see out of these, but they almost look like just these wooden faces hanging on each of these two outstretched hands on this statue. Seems to be a male forest gnome statue. It seems to be built much larger than you'd expect for a gnome, but it seems to be holding these two strange things, and then there is a circle of these same candles.
Have there been candles on the path since we've left? So the whole way is candles.
Yep.
Would you relay that to us? Or
Oh, am I the only one who saw it?
I will say that you're in the lead, so you'd be the first one to see it from far away.
I'm gonna just stop where I am, kind of freaked out by the masks, and just point up there and not say anything, but just point at the statues, get everyone's attention.
Okay. I'll say you all take time, and with Annulin's direction, you're all able to see it.
I would like to wear one.
we need a closer look. I guess I'll start to I'll point ahead to Annulin as we hopefully just continue onward.
Okay.
I point back at him and shuffle behind him.
If it's time, I'm ready to go, baby. Just say the word.
Is there any path that's more stealthy than just the main path?
It's wall to wall mausoleum.
Before we go, I'm going to use an action to activate my Rod of the Pact Keeper.
Got it. I didn't know. Oh, your Zoopy-Doo?
Your spell
Yeah.
slot.
You hear a as you feel magical energy, and then you creep forward. This seems to be a courtyard in a kind of a strange triangular shape, and with one path veering off. You now see what looks like a very, very weathered statue of a gnome, a male gnome, and his arms are up, and you can kind of see that his arms were holding two very large fish of some kind. And on each of these fish is hanging a mask. They both are carved to be different patterns, different coloring, different painting, but they seem to have the same style.
I guess my question is, do the masks appear to have been added or a part of the sculpture?
Everything else is kind of this rusty, or this weathered stone, and this seems to be like a wooden mask just hanging.
So it's like the statue existed and somebody came along and put a bunch of wooden masks on it.
He's put it around that there are two kind of fish heads pointing down from it where the statue is holding hands, and around the tail of each fish is hanging this mask.
Can we get a better look at what the mask looks like? It's just sort of colorful.
So it's colorful, it's built into this face of like this kind of broad kind of smile, or is it a snarl? It's difficult to tell. As these large oval eyes, kind of this string, spiky hair, is it? It's kind of hard to tell, but it's this large wooden face, and the two large wooden face hanging off of this as you're kind of standing on the threshold of this courtyard area.
Do we go in? Do we see anything?
Now,
Any movement?
I know I always suggest this, and by that I mean I never suggested it. We could just burn the whole thing down.
There are a lot of candles.
I don't... With all the magic around, and what's there to burn?
Wooden masks. We just burn all the wooden masks.
There's only two of them.
Well, my thought here, and I'm saying this very quietly, is that if Annulin couldn't kick the candle, I don't think you're going to be able to burn the masks.
I mean, I cut the candle in half, though. I mean, maybe they're magically
And
rooted.
then it grew back.
Perception check was
And I
26.
think the light
It didn't go back. It just started. It caught on fire.
What's that, Anya?
I was able to light an arrow during that fight. It didn't stay magically lit like the candles seemed to be, but it did create a flame.
I got a 26. Do I see any movement at all?
You
or-
look around and you see nothing. Besides that same flickering of and dancing shadows.
Oh, thanks for
you
the sub,
sub,
Dr.
Dr.
Tama.
Tama. Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, did we go offline, by the way?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No.
We're good.
Okay, cool. Apologies. It says that we did. On mine.
I'm watching it.
Oh, great. Thank you. You look around and it just feels incredibly still.
I mean, that's a fair point. The fact that you could light your arrow, and did it just turn into regular flame once she lit it, or was it the
Turn into a
same?
regular flame.
I don't want to screw with the masks and cause more shit to happen. I mean, do we even know... why did the spiders and those zombies attack us in the courtyard? And we've been fine this whole way.
You have no idea.
Is there any kind of like... Go ahead.
I was gonna say all we can do is continue to carry on and perhaps find some sort of more evidence. I mean, we're dead in the water here. We can't just sit here all night.
I agree. I think we just need to keep moving and just deal with what comes. So I'll start to move ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you step forward. And who's the lead?
Annulin got behind me. I don't know if... Okay.
You said you were going to go ahead.
I did say I was going to go ahead. Okay.
You cross the threshold. You step in. You're able to kind of see down the long, narrow walkway of mausoleums past this, just similar to like the rest of the graveyard, or not graveyard, the cemetery. And you step forward, and you continue walking, and kind of the rest of you all kind of file in, and kind of right as the last person steps across the threshold, the candles directly around the statue shoot up into massive pillars of flame, burning the masks, setting them on fire. And as this circle of candles dies back down, the masks still on fire, kind of above and below, two bright, flaming orbs appear in the eye sockets. And then the flame starts to shift in the exact same color. The pinks, the greens, the purples, as both masks lift up and float down, and their eyes and then the mouths slowly open, and there's fire inside, and everyone roll for initiative.
Fuck. What do we do? Would you like to place us? Are we here?
What? Yes.
This one?
Hold
The
on.
one with the person in the middle.
Yes, that's the statue. There's the back.
So we can't come from here.
So it's like completely like
Yeah.
wall-to-wall mausoleums.
Yep. Okay. I would say
Or
you're
we
all.
probably came in from here. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
So are we all sort of past the threshold here?
Yeah. Just place wherever you guys want.
Just say like there-ish.
I'll just say that they're there. Yeah.
Oh shit, man. How much of the camera this?
Okay. I need everyone to roll for initiative very quickly.
Come on.
If you wouldn't mind doing that.
Look at that. Woo. I got a 19. Oh, sorry. Do your
20 to 25. 15 to 20.
18.
19.
Rodak. Vandris. 10 to 10 to 15.
Got 11.
11? Okay. Thank you. Sylvie.
8.
8. Okay. I'm going to roll for the monsters. Okay. You see these large, as they're kind of floating down to kind of ground level hovering. The mouths are open, and you can hear kind of like the rattling of wood as they look like they're kind of gearing up to attack you. Rhoda, you're up. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to just immediately I'm tired of this shape. I'm going to run. I'm going to attack number 1.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna attack again. So, 12.
12. No, it misses.
Okay.
You swing, and the mask kind of floats up and then drops back.
22.
Down. 22 does hit.
I'm gonna make this a menacing attack. They are going to. Yeah. They have to make a Wiz saving throw.
Okay. Jesus Christ. No, it's going to be where's the Wiz here? 8.
So it fails. It's afraid. So the damage on that is 6, 8, 18, 18, 24 damage.
24 damage? Okay, 24 damage to
Can they have a wounds? Can they be wounded?
Also, it's necrotic magic, so I would say that's
Okay.
possible.
Got it. And I'm done.
Okay, so you miss as it floats up, and you swing back. You hear the kind of loud chipping as the flame gets dispersed a little bit from these like relatively large maps. They're almost as big as Sylvie's person is. They're very large. And so hold on, 1, 2. What number was that, by the way? How much?
Number 1.
Number 1. How much damage could you?
24.
24. Okay. It chips away, and the flame is kind of radiating a light of an intense version of that candle light is kind of is bathing this entire courtyard. Okay, Avantris, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna run directly next to Rodak.
Okay, you sprint up next to Rodak.
22.
22. Okay, so it hits.
is abysmal, and I should delete my character.
You run up and you stab your rapier. You kind of hear the loud chipping of wood as its kind of blazing eyes just look at you, and kind of its mouth is kind of rattling. And
I'm going to use my free disengage and back up 5 feet.
You back up, and back up 5 feet. Okay, Taiki is up. She is going to just stand where she is, backing up against the mausoleum. I hope there are no zombies that come out behind me. And she is just going to fire to...
so she's staying where she is?
Yeah. One is going to miss, one is going to hit. She's attacking the one that's undamaged. Oh my god. And roll minimum damage. Okay. So one misses and kind of chips away one of the bits of the fish on the statue as she misses horribly, and one does manage to chip in but does not do that much damage. Okay, Anion, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna load 2 arrows into my bow and fire both at number 1.
Okay.
That's a 31. Oh wait. Okay, so one of them is a 20 to hit, and the other one is a natural 20.
Hey!
Both hit.
So one crits.
So 19 damage for one.
Okay.
12 damage for the second.
Okay. As you fire both of your arrows, and you can kind of see that just this relentless assault, you're chipping away. It is kind of already missing pieces, and the flame is considerably dimmer than it was before. You are unloading on this guy, and with that, it is their turn. So as they turn, as both of these turn, you see their eyes go kind of wild, and their mouths open even wider, and all of a sudden you see a little tiny bead of kind of swirling multicolor fire appear right behind you, Avantris and Rodak, and then into the cluster of you all. 2 fireballs explode, and everyone to make a dex saving throw, please.
Fuck.
Son of a 15.
I would like to use Indomitable.
Okay,
And
15
reroll
passes.
Hey, evasion!
Ooh, have I lost my bardic inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 10 minutes.
Ah! Then I got a 12.
20.
Passes. Fails.
Natural 1.
Fails. Thank you. Oh, actually, no, hold on. Oh, she passes. So she's like, no! Ah! And then, and both miss a swarm. So basically, 6, blah, 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 6, and then 8. Okay, we'll see. Oh my god. 3, 4, 8, 8, 14, 16, 19 points of fire damage as they explode.
And half if we pass.
And half
to
of the
Avantris.
yeah, as both of the fireballs.
So 8. That's not bad.
And then they both just kind of their mouths just close a little bit, and they're just floating there. And then that's the turn. Sylvia, you're up.
Okay, I am going to cast Glitter Lance on number 1.
Okay.
Both of the bolts. So, actually, I think I'm doing this wrong. I've been adding 9. Yeah, I should be adding 11. So 15 for one and 26 for the other.
15 to 1 and 26 for the other, both hit.
So let's see.
17. You had 5 to each, right?
Yeah,
So 17.
17. Okay.
For the first one or both?
For both.
Both. They smash into this, and it rattles around the one that you hit to number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As it's kind of like it starts to kind of sink lower and it's floating. It's starting to kind of be almost it seems like it's struggling to keep itself afloat. And this wood is just chipped away. You see that like one of the sides of its face is completely battered and splintered by this glitter lance, and it is looking very weak as the light dims considerably. Okay, with that, it is Rodik's turn.
Can he roll necrotic damage, please?
He will roll necrotic damage. That'll be 3 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
He's looking.
Con saving throw.
Or it. Con saving throw, yeah, for that guy, and he's gonna fail, so he's gonna keep being wounded. It's gonna be keep being wounded.
I am going to basically get between both of them, and I'm going to just throw an attack at each.
Okay.
I'm going to let's attack number 2 first, so the other one. That's a 29, and then the second attack will be a 25.
Okay.
I'm going to apply wounds to this guy, so they're each going to have 1 wounds now.
Got it.
What's my purpose there? I roll that. Ooh, max damage. Max damage. 6 times 3 is what, 18? So 18 for the first one.
On number what?
On number 2.
Okay.
And then 12 for the second. On number 1.
Damage?
Yep.
12 on number 1?
12 number 1.
You, as it kind of rattles from the necrotic damage, it kind of lowers down right in front of you. As the stronger one, you do one huge swing, slicing through the wood and kind of dispersing the flame, and then you turn to the other one that's kind of fallen directly above you. You bring your sword down and just cleave it right in two. The two halves of the mask clatter across this courtyard, and it is dead. Woo! Jesus Christ, you guys do a lot of damage. I forgot. It's been so long since we had like a lot of combat.
Yeah. It's been
Avantris.
months.
Alright, I am going to run over the trampled corpse, if you could call it that, or kindling
I
of
would
the
say
shitty,
yeah, it's not even.
right over top. Well, that's fine. I was
that
going to go over top of the dead body.
Well, so this is like on the statue. I don't know how that would work.
Just kidding, then. I'm going to go
Okay.
right where you put me.
Got it.
Rolling.
Banders, rolling.
Avantris.
Banders got a 23. Banders gonna roll for damage.
We all need to get together.
Sorry, I'm rolling like shit. I'm very upset. That'd be mother. I got 27. Banders got 27 points of damage.
27 points of damage. Okay.
Don't pretend like that's a lot, or I'll slap you the next time I see you.
That's pretty good. For what?
27?
That's trash.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's better than the shit that I can roll.
Alright, none of us are friends anymore.
Okay, so
Alright.
you run up, and the mask is still floating after getting sliced by Rhoda. You stab in your rapier into the mask, and it punctures through a small hole, and you pull it out, and then you can kind of see the multicolored flame behind it as you step away. Okay, it's Taiki's turn.
Do you want to back up?
Oh. Banders, you want to back up?
Banders.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll back up 10 feet.
Okay, so with that, it is Taiki's turn. She is just going to say, I'm just going to shoot 2 arrows. And she is going to miss both.
Is she gonna move?
She's going to stay right there. She's going to back up and say, like, okay, I'm a little out of practice. Just don't say anything. I'm really nervous, okay? And with that, it is... Whose turn is it?
Anyone's
Matthias,
turn.
Annuan. I'm like, I got to write
I can load 2 arrows and fire them into the other guy.
Other guy. Other mask.
Oh, that is 1 critical fail and 1 22 to hit.
22 does hit.
And I forget, is he damaged or did we load it
Yes,
all?
it
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
13 damage.
13 damage. Okay. The arrow, one kind of hits the statue, kind of sinks in right to where Taiki actually missed and shot her arrows. And one does find purchase, and this goes as it sticks in, as you see the shaft of your arrow then light on fire and then burn away.
And then before the end of my turn, I'm just going to use my movement to kind of like circle around the edge of the wall, going opposite direction.
Or this way?
That way.
This way.
Way you said.
Okay. With that, it is. It's just gonna look. Its eyes glow with fire, and they go larger, 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 and then both Avantris and Rodak, and they shoot just two blasting rays of the same colored fire at both of you. It's gonna make an attack on each of you.
So one each.
One each.
Got it.
So we're gonna send Rodak first. That is definitely gonna hit. We're gonna do Avantris,
as they are wont to do,
and that is gonna miss. So Avantris managed to dodge out of the way of this ray of magical energy. Rodak, unfortunately, you do not. Taking 7 points of fire damage.
That's all right.
That's all I got, right? Yeah. That's what I got. Okay.
That's what you got.
That's all I got. Sylvie, you're up.
24 and 25 to
Okay.
hit. 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. Both arcs of your Eldritch Blast hit it and kind of splinter it. It kind of is starting to sink down a little bit as it's looking rough. Okay, Rodak, you're up.
I'm going to make the old double attack, Reno.
Okay.
Just want to save my resources. 21 and 26. Doing 7, 13, 18, 24 damage with both attacks.
24 damage. Okay. How do you want to do this?
I cut it this way, I want to cut it now that way.
Okay, after slicing through the first mask, it sends it clattering. You just, you're going to mix it up a little bit this time. It is kind of lowered. You swing your sword and cleave it in two as it splits. The top half, as the fire extinguished, hits the head of the statue and clatters down as the light fades out of its eyes, and once again quiet returns over the cemetery.
I don't like this.
You should have let me put it on.
I also feel like this was. I don't mean to sound cocky, but this was way too easy.
Well, I think we can clearly handle whatever this is, so we should keep going. We should see who's doing this. I think.
At the very least, help me inspect this statue and see if there's anything we can find. Maybe some clues, a bit more information before we press on.
Yeah, all right. So we'll
Who's
both.
investigating at advantage. You can choose.
You get advantage automatically.
So basically, you just get advantage. You're the better thing anyway. So.
Got it.
I'm assisting you.
My high roll was a 15, which makes my investigation a 25.
25. Okay. You look around. You're rooting around in the pile of ashes and remnants and splinters, and you notice that aside from the candles, which are still they're back down to their dim glow, you kind of notice that there's some strange residue on these masks or these wooden effigies, and it's kind of this strange pinkish powder that kind of has the same glowing hue, like it's a kind of a shimmering, not a glowing of a light, but it's glinting, it's catching the light of the candles very easily, and just kind of wisps of this pink powder. And I'll say that you also notice that there seems to be a spot on the statue that seems to kind of have a particularly like wet, almost like slimy just spot that it had been almost as if something had been smeared on it, of like this kind of strange, like damp, almost looks mucusy. It's difficult to tell like exactly, but it's out of place for the rest of everything else.
Where on the statue is it? Its chest?
Yeah, so in between, like on its chest, and like kind of, it looks as if like, you know, a handful of fingers kind of just like haphazardly pressed against it.
For the powdery stuff that we found, does that look familiar to me as something like what I saw in the house?
Make an Arcana check.
Sorry, I lost my sheet. That's bad. I got a 6.
You have no idea. Does not look the same at all.
What race were the? Can we like? Do the zombies look like any particular race, or were they just sort of
The
like?
zombies, I'll just say they look like a combination of humanoid races. It's very hard to tell in the state of decay. You probably noticed that like some were a bit smaller. You could probably guess gnomish, but you know, humans and standard, yeah.
So they weren't just like they weren't constructs like we had seen in Pridefall, like the flesh golem.
You could get the sense that these were risen.
Okay.
By what or by whom you know.
What is it? Slimy? Did you see that? This slimy patch. What is this?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to get close to it or touch it.
Would I be able to reach it if I can touch it?
It's high up.
It's high up. Could you have Lumi take a closer look?
No.
How high up is it?
You would probably need to have like people stand on your shoulders to get up there.
Now, Rodek, I know that this is very undignified, but I'd be happy to hoist you up.
Oh no! I'd be happy to hoist you up, lad.
Do you want me to make you fly?
I already told you I'm not touching it.
Can you?
Do you want me to make you fly?
I don't want you to use any resources to make me fly.
Okay.
What if you could just get a closer look? You can take the eyes. Take a look. You don't have to touch it. I just think it's very... We have to take a closer look. And can you...
Does anyone have an empty flask or something that I can scrape this shit into?
I pull out like an empty... I'm sure I have an empty something. Sure. I'll give you like an empty jar.
Fine. I will be happy to do some investigation. I retake the eyes of minute seeing, and I put them on my head.
And I will... I'll kind of lean down for you to get on my shoulders, if it helps.
Yeah, or if I can climb up the statue, I'd be happy to try to scale it.
Okay. So you, with the boost, we'll just say you can easily get up there. And you find a very thin layer of kind of just this strange kind of like mucusy substance.
I definitely want to investigate it first. And then, depending on how my investigation goes, use a dagger to scrape some into an empty vial.
I'll just keep the investigation check from searching the statue. So
Sure.
like a 23 or whatever, and that's what you see. You see that same thing. It's kind of a smear.
No difference.
Yep.
All right, dex check to scoop it into the vial.
Make it.
18.
18.
19,
You
sorry.
managed to escape. There's not that much. It's a very, very, very thin coating, and as you scrape most of it, you're able to get really just kind of like a drop or two. But you are able to kind of see as it kind of slides down the vial.
Doesn't seem to do anything to my dagger.
Nope.
All right. Thank you. We need to keep moving.
Agreed. Is there still a pathway of candles, more or
I would
less?
like to take 10 minutes, if that's okay, before we go.
I could use 10 minutes. Taiki looks completely petrified.
That's fine by me. I could use a short rest.
She sits down.
Everything okay?
What? Huh?
She said, Taiki, is everything okay?
Oh. Taiki, Sylvie, they sound the same.
Yeah, there's some resemblance. Yeah, no, I mean, I just wasn't expecting creepy zombies and horrible spiders and creepy fireballs that hit me.
Like I told you before, it's not too late to turn back. We would never think any less of you, but we've seen some serious shit since you and I parted, and it's only gonna get worse from here on out, I promise you.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I could use a short rest, but I mean...
Yeah,
We'll take
that
an
would
hour.
actually be better than the
Agreed.
10 minutes.
But do we have time to sit around for an hour?
Well, I don't feel comfortable going on if I don't sit around for an hour.
Why don't we send someone to go scout out the next courtyard, if there is one?
Why do you always say someone when we know there's only one?
That sounds terrible. We should all stay together. What if you want to go send... you're crazy.
Be realistic. If they send me out like they always do when they say someone, I'll come back. I've never been caught. I've never been captured. It's not going to start now.
You've never been caught or captured until you have been caught or captured.
You're right. I mean, there's a lot of magic. They might have...
What if you have exploding candles and you just walk across it and you get fucking vaporized?
I'm a little bit more hardy than that, Taiki. Come on.
I mean, do we... I guess, what time is it now?
It's probably about 2-ish, a little before 2.
To be honest, I want to get this done with before the sun comes up, because you know these guys are going to roll out before we get some daylight here.
How long have we been investigating already, would you say?
I would say you've been investigating for probably a good 20 minutes.
Just
Alright.
trust me. Take the remaining 40. I'll go take a look. I can always go as a bet.
I mean, you could, but...
Well, so the thing is, we would need another hour
For what?
for me to be ready to go.
No, wait. No. I thought the whole investigation thing, as long as you're not doing strenuous activity,
Yeah.
it's all one short
Yeah,
rest.
I don't need a rest, but I need an hour.
Why?
You've gotten
Because
20
Lily
minutes so
died
far.
in a ball of fire, you idiot, and I need to get her back.
Oh, she's dead?
She has, like, minuscule amounts of health. She's a pixie.
Well, I mean, but it's already been 20 is my point.
But
so
I
if you
have
want
to
to
cast a ritual. So, is the point.
thing, roll it in.
I mean, do you want to bring her back to this? Maybe resurrect her when we're back safe in the hotel.
Okay.
Why don't we take...
Well, if we're not going to take the time, then there's no
I could
reason
use
for
a
me to scout.
full
That's all
hour. I'm
talking
not
about.
going to complain. I could use the extra rest.
What do you think? I mean, I'm all right. I could... I mean, do you have any healing left?
No. Not for you.
I can heal someone, not as much as Sylvie did.
I'm happy to use the healing that Sylvie provided me with to at least go scout. I'm not going to... Just let me redeem myself. I'm not going to throw myself into danger again.
All right. If you... it's dangerous, but if you really like to... I won't
Worst
stop
case
you.
scenario, I have multiple means of escape. I can protect myself, I promise, and I will run, I won't fight.
All right. So I'll just sit down and just start kind of resting a little bit
Okay.
for the rest of the 40 minutes.
Okay. So you all take a rest, and Avantris, you kind of scout ahead, and as you're making your way through the cemetery, you peek around. You go through one lane, and the canopy is getting thicker and thicker and thicker, and as you turn a corner, you see a glow that seems to be far brighter than any of the others that you had seen. Could you please make a perception check for me?
I'd be happy.
12. As you turn, you kind of peek around a corner, you see you kind of see another crypt another courtyard far ahead, but this seems to be far larger. And there's a huge crypt up ahead. And for the first time in this cemetery, you see candles with no gaps in between across the entire path ahead of you.
Across, meaning it's blocking the path?
Yes.
Can I see the entire circle, or only part of it that crosses the path?
So you can kind of see the glow of the other candles as it's crossing the path, and as you can kind of see it, that there's a large crypt ahead, and it's difficult for you to see past it, but you can see that there are multiple. There's a lot of candle glow in this large kind of courtyard area.
Is there any way that I can stick to the tree line and try to sneakily get some more
There's no
info?
tree. You've been mausoleums all the way down.
So it's rock and stone. My fault.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to turn into a bat.
Okay.
I want to use my polymorph somewhere that I can do it kind of hidden. I'm
Okay.
assuming I'm still hidden.
Make a stealth check.
High roll was a 29.
29. You dart into the shadows, and you channel the cloak of the bat. You feel familiar. You feel the familiar shrinking as you shift into a bat, and you're kind of on the ground, and you kind of lift up and flap your wings, and you fall to the ground.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
You heave up, flap, flap, fall to the ground.
So just no matter how hard I try, I recognize it's
You
futile.
keep trying, and for whatever reason, your wings are not finding any lift.
Alright, I'll unpolymorph. Let me check my bag of tricks here. I find one ticket back to the party and I walk back.
Okay. You find the ticket and you walk back to the party. We'll say you get a full hour.
I tell them everything.
So do you want to say that if we got the full hour, do you want to say that we casted Lumi out?
No, because I didn't until I mentioned it. So I'm not gonna metagame it. It's fine.
No, I mean, take the hour to cast Lumi. I think that if you were going to take the hour,
That was like the point, right?
Yeah.
Well, I only would have started if I'd known we were taking an hour. So if we decided we were going to do it after they'd investigated, Sylvie wouldn't have done it.
Wait, what do you mean? You wouldn't have... No, but I'm saying, like, let's say we can take the full hour after we started the full rest. It's 21 minutes. You sure?
Yeah, sure. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I'm
right?
just saying. I'm not going to metagame it. So.
Yeah, no, I don't
I
think so.
came back early, but my polymorph lasts an hour. Because I wouldn't have spent an hour futilely trying to
No,
flap
you
my
can
wings.
you can turn it off. You can turn it off.
I mean,
That's my
I
point,
would
right?
just
So
say
I was
that...
saying I was prepared to take a full hour. Is my point.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna use some things, but
Lumi.
I'm gonna let them all know everything that happened.
As soon as Lumi kind of pops back to life, she kind of like rubs her face a little bit, and kind of like she yawns, almost as if she's been like taking a long nap. You don't know how the timey-wimey nonsense has been happening in the Feywild, and she's like, and then she flaps her little wings. And she kind of looks around and kind of shrugs and kind of climbs up into your little spot on your jacket.
That'd have been good to know about 30 minutes ago.
so no one can fly.
I don't know. She might have broken her wings when she was hit by the fireball.
I mean, I couldn't either if it counts for anything, but you could be right. I think it might be some sort of magical something.
All right. Well, if there's
I can tell you is that up ahead it was very, very bright, and I got literally no information. So unfortunately, I'm useless at this point.
well, sorry, I gotta roll these. Why don't you guys just?
It's okay. Take your time. We're just discussing before we move forward ahead into uncertain doom.
I mean, I have nothing. I don't know what's going on. I have no leads. I have nothing. We can continue or we cannot. I'm fine with
We don't have
going
a
back
choice,
to the
right?
hotel.
We're not backing out now. We're on to something here, regardless of how disadvantaged we may be, regardless of whether or not we can't identify the magic or fly. I mean, there's some sort of magic dampering effect, I think, going on here. It's as if we don't have the same abilities we always had. But there's no turning back now. I think that would be foolish. We're clearly onto something.
I don't like the idea of this candle, threshold that we'd have to pass. Why don't we all go together? We'll all approach it, see if we can learn anything, investigate it, and then see if we need to cross it.
I mean, I agree. There didn't appear to be people. It's been the same as everything else. So as soon as we step across those candles, we're probably going to be faced with something. But there's no way we turn back now. No way.
Okay. Tiggy stands up and she looks nervous and she steps forward. Well, I'm sure we'll find something not horrible or unpleasant. Shall we?
Listen, I know that you and I haven't had the best track record as far as bounty hunting has gone, but if I can help it, I've learned, and I'm not going to just let anything happen to you, I promise.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, I'm fine. I can hold my own.
So we'll proceed down towards, I guess, stealthily.
Okay.
Do we need re-stealth, or?
Yeah, I'll say everyone do one more stealth check, please.
23.
13.
17. Okay, 12. Okay, cool. So, let me roll for Tyke real quick. So, you all creep along the same zigzagging path deep into the cemetery. You feel like the bayou around you, the trees the trees are getting denser. As you continue forward, you see the same sight that Avantris saw, where there's a large crypt in the center, and kind of it's almost narrowing the pathway as the mausoleums get tighter and tighter, and you see that familiar row of candles across the front there, and you all kind of approach. And what are you gonna do?
I want to inspect Tyke.
Okay.
$19.
19. What are you?
I'm looking specifically for anything that seems off about her, because she mentioned walking over candles and igniting into flame, and then all of a sudden Avantris comes to a path of candles he can't get over. So I want to see if there's anything weird about her, if maybe she led us here by nefarious means. So like I'm essentially looking.
It was a won't.
I'm just looking for any signs of illusion magic or anything about her.
Okay. I will need you to do that and do an insight check as well.
5 for insight.
So you subtly are kind of like keeping an eye on her, and you don't notice any illusion magic on her person. You kind of look, and she's like looking around, and she seems to be scared. But she, you don't. If you're looking kind of like for magic or anything, you don't kind of see. You go kind of like tap the back of her foot.
Yeah.
And hey, it's fine. Okay, it's whatever. And you don't happen to notice any illusion.
So you did that subtly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't have noticed you trying to do that.
Listen, I'm willing to step across the candles. It's not the stupidest thing I've ever done, and I'm confident that I'll be okay. But I just didn't want to do it without you guys because I was trying to restore some faith in the team here.
What do we see beyond the courtyard? Is there like another statue?
So as you see beyond the courtyard, it's very tight, and for you to kind of see that the way that this large crypt is and the way that the mausoleums are all kind of spread out, you kind of see that to the left side of this crypt there is a concentrated glow, definitely more so than on the right side, but it's kind of hard for you to see because of how tight and narrow this is.
So, is the big crypt in the middle of the next courtyard?
Yeah, but there's kind of like another ring. There's like a ring of mausoleums, then another pathway around that kind of go off circular that you can tell.
Okay.
And then so it's kind of far ahead, and so you're trying to see, and it's kind of blocked off. But you do notice that there's a concentration of kind of that sickly glow coming on the left side.
I think we just need to approach carefully and just try to see where that green glow is coming from.
I agree. Unfortunately, you're seeing about everything that I saw, and again, just say the word, and I'll give it a try.
Well, let's all proceed together, and we'll see. Because would we be able to like look at angles like we get? So why don't we walk right up to the line of candles and see what we can see?
Just be prepared for anything.
Right.
Okay.
So
you walk up to the candles, and could you please make a perception check, please?
Who?
Whoever. Group perception check, actually. Why don't we do that?
She rolled well. I got a 24.
I rolled a 1, so I got 7.
Okay.
14.
Was that?
14.
Okay.
26.
Okay. As kind of a group, you all approach, and there's that line of candles. As you are keeping an eye on things, looking around, you are noticing the same kind of flickering and dancing shadows across the mausoleums like you've been seeing. But on the left side, you catch the glimpse of a shadow cast here and there by what look like humanoid figures.
On the left side.
On the left side.
Do we all kind of see this?
I would say that you're able to point that out.
So we're sort of approaching. We're at the line of candles, and we can
And it's kind of far off on the left side of the crypt, like far off. So like it's kind of the shadows seem to be kind of projecting this, and you kind of see it the occasional like statue head or.
Well, they're still here. We haven't waited too long. I think we have to go. We have to go investigate.
Right behind you, brother. You lead the way. I'm with you.
Are you ready?
I don't have a choice. Let's go.
All right, and I'll just jump over the candle line.
Okay. So could you please make a wisdom saving throw as you jump over the candle line?
Plus,
Oh wow, that's good. 20.
20. Okay. You jump over it, and you kind of start to feel just like this fear well up in your stomach and almost like something that's kind of like sending you back. But you calm it.
Would I have noticed that is anything magical, or would I just could it be perceived as like a natural fear?
I would say, given the fact that it was a sudden, like almost forced state, was an almost that it would seem supernatural. I would
Okay.
say that you wouldn't even need to roll for it.
So
we all had to make this check, right?
Rhoda jumped over. If you jumped over 2, make it please.
Oh, I thought we were all going
Okay,
together.
yeah, jumped over. Everyone make it then.
And you said it's magic?
It's yes.
I'm using another luck point.
Wait, what is the roll?
Wisdom saving throw.
7.
Wisdom save.
17?
17. Okay.
15.
15. Okay. So, Sylvie, as you step over, suddenly a pit of fear comes over you, and then Taiki stands there, and it's same pit of fear comes over her, and both you almost feel compelled to stop and back up, as you are kind of like feeling like you have your like thoughts about you, but when it comes to kind of crossing that threshold, you feel like there's just this overwhelming fear that's like preventing you from stopping. Taiki steps back and she says, I don't know if I can do this, guys.
Yeah, me either. Let's go.
No.
Listen, time out. Sylvie, you can't go anywhere. We need you. Taiki,
Hold
you
my
and I
hand,
have
Sylvie.
had our differences,
I'll
and if you
hold-
want
I'll
to
hold her
split,
hand.
you're fine. But I promise you we're going to protect you if you stay with us.
You can't go. You're in far more danger if you leave.
I don't think that's true. I don't.
You'll be alone. We can't afford to separate at this point.
Okay, I would like one of you two to make a persuasion check.
six.
With advantage.
Oh, my persuasion is so fucking high. I don't think I've ever rolled persuasion, or at least not recently. Yeah, I got a 27.
27. Okay, so as they say that, there's kind of a twinge, and please remake the saving throw. 20. Okay, so the words of your friends almost kind of gives you, this doesn't undo it, but for someone of your power, you kind of get the sense that it gave you another chance to kind of like force it out. Like in Attack on Titan when Armin is pulling Aaron out of the Titans! Armin NPC went. Titans! And you feel a grip on your hand, and you feel Taiki grip your hand, and she kind of like breathes, and she grabs your hand and then steps forward and says, "Okay, I can do this."
Are you all right?
No, but let's go. And I'm gonna have her jump with me at this, or I guess we already made her jump.
Okay,
back.
3, 2, 1, go! And then you guys both jump over, and hold on, let me clear it. So you creep around, and I will pull up what you see. Should have had this ready. I apologize.
Take your
I
time.
apologize.
I apologize.
Literally, no one will ever be able to say I apologize to me ever again.
Agreed.
Richie was saying it like the other day, like, "Oh, I apologize" or something. I was like, "Please don't say that." All I can hear is that NPC.
So, as you arrive, creeping, can I get one more round of stealth checks? I apologize. I should have asked that earlier. Okay. This is.
I have to apologize to ask me to roll a fucking 33.
Okay.
Ooh, 6.
11.
19.
19. Okay, so you all kind of are creeping very slowly, trying to be as quiet as possible. You can kind of see the curving, circular rows of mausoleums as they're curving all around, kind of go down, but you can see the concentrated flickering of the candles on the left side of the huge crypt in the center. And you step forward, and as you finally arrive, you see that one side of this mausoleum, encircled with a kind of a low garden wall, beyond, basically kind of going towards the stairs going up into this large
Wait, so
mausoleum.
hold on. So we're standing in front of.
You're kind of standing beyond. So you're basically ahead, this huge crypt is ahead of you, and there's a low garden wall encircling this, kind of going down to the stairs that come down, and as you pass that first row, and flanked on the left side is a half circle of the same brightly colored candles, dripping wax down, tightly placed side by side. As you look, the low canopy of the bayou trees are barely parted and revealing the night sky. There's a slivered waxing moon, just almost visible. The low glow of candle shimmers on water directly ahead. You realize you've reached the edge of the cemetery, and the bayou lies directly ahead. Within this half circle, you see the three figures that have been casting these shadows, cloaked and seemingly hooded. Two of them are huddled close to the, or near the broad left wall of this crypt. Pardon me. There's a third, noticeably taller figure, standing several feet back. For a moment, just before you see it reach into its person, and it sticks its hand up and throws a pink powder, onto the candles. And immediately, the candles erupt into pillars of flame, radiating with a corresponding colored light. They have a brilliant shade of green, purple, pink, orange, green, purple, pink, and orange. Now with this blazing light casting all over this courtyard in the crypt, you can make out the individuals huddled at the base. It's hard to see their faces beneath the hood, but it seems like two humans, a man and a woman, looking completely terrified. The man reaches over and grabs the woman's hand as they keep their eyes glued on the side of the crypt that they stand on. The figure that threw the powder, however, you can clearly see is wearing a wooden mask that covers its entire face, painted black, carved into the effigy of a snarling face, elaborate markings etched into its surface, complete with horns. The mask shape stands completely still, as you now notice that the figure's shadow, cast by the raging candles and projected onto the side of the crypt, in front of the huddled humans, starts to shift and change into an entirely different silhouette. You see the shadow of what appears to be a man, incredibly tall and thin, a large top hat resting on his head, and what looks like to be a fat cigar between two bony fingers in his right hand. Although the person with the mask continued to stand statue still, the projected shadow begins to move on its own, and suddenly a voice echoes out, almost coming from the flames. Well, 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 what do we have here? Two lonely souls come looking for fulfillment of their desires? My associate has told me all of your troubles. Trapped in loveless marriages, found escape in each other. But you're both married into dough, and eloping in the middle of the night leaves you broke. And now you come to old Baron Samedi to make a deal. Both of the cowering figures nod as they look up to the shadow man talking to them, inching closer to each other. The shape on the wall takes a puff of the cigar and taps out the ashes. You notice ash fall from where the shadow was, landing onto the cemetery floor. A pesky husband and nagging wife go out of the picture. All the complicated business of inheritance made easier than a slice of coconut cream pie. And two lovebirds will be together as long as they both shall live. That is what you want in your future. Both of the humans hesitate. They look at each other and back up to the shadow and nod. Lucky for you, that is something I can do. We won't say nothing about no price, but just know you owe me one. So what do you say? We have a deal? You watch as the long arms on the crypt extend down to the huddled pair as the shadow peels off the side of the stone, stretching out in midair in front of them as he crosses his arms. The couple looks at each other one last time before both reaching out and shaking. Very nice, the hand unclasped. Just know you won't regret this deal.
No one ever does. Now go home and sleep easy, that your new life begins tonight. My associate will walk you out. And you see the radiating shadow kind of start to still kind of standing there looking over this. And the figure in the center with the mask turns to them and walks forward, and the couple is kind of standing there, kind of holding each other's hands, looking up at him, looking even more terrified, almost unsure. It's kind of hard to tell, as you can kind of just barely see glimpses of their faces as they turn and they start walking in your direction.
Is there anywhere that we can like start to like get it to the side?
As you are all looking at the side, you hear a whirring arrow fly past your head as it flies directly into the shoulder of the masked figure. And you turn and you see Taiki holding her bow as she's fired an arrow. And she says, "Come on, guys, we gotta kill him!" And then the masked figure turns, and then the shadow on the wall kind of turns its head.
Oh my party being crashed. Lovers! Looks like I'm collecting early.
The masked figure looks down, rips the arrow out of his body, and the masked figure reaches into his robes and once again throws a handful of pink powder onto the couple. It hangs in the air, and you hear blood-curdling screams as two large needles with weathered twine start to dart in and out of this cloud. As you hear sickening, puncturing sounds, the powder settles. Standing where the pair had been is a horrific mass of gray flesh that make one singular creature. Two heads with large inky eyes and moaning gaped mouths.
But at least you got what you wanted. You will be together for the rest of your life. Bye-bye now.
And he goes, and
wait,
candles.
Son of a bitch!
Candles go out as the masked, as this moaning creature is looking directly at you, looking towards you, as Taiki pulls out another arrow and just ignores it and fires it at the figure that manages to dodge it. And in another swift motion, as he dodges it, he reaches into his robe and he throws into the air, glowing, illuminated, two large bone dice suspended by bright green energy, spinning around violently as you see bursts of green light shooting from the various dots etched in the bone. And they materialize what look like to be toads that land on the ground, swollen with glowing green energy inside them. The two dice fly back to the masked figure's hand, and with a final flash of pink dust, seemingly vanishes.
Who was that? And I turned to I yell that, and then I immediately go. I would have started running towards the masked guy.
Okay, yeah.
As I guess he disappeared. But I would. So I guess I don't know. And then I'd be running towards something to hit with my sword.
And with that, can everyone please roll for initiative?
Oh!
My initiative rolls have been so bad. I got a 16.
Out of 15. I have to use the bathroom.
You got it. Should I move something? Is all this?
What?
Or should I move?
What was that?
Or should I move?
Yeah, move everything. Move everything.
So that's nothing.
Okay, so with that,
I guess what would be? Yeah, I guess where are we
so
here?
there's the creature here.
Here?
Yeah. I'm gonna say that you're up in the front there, Rodak.
So where do we come from?
You came from here.
Here?
Yeah.
So where would I be? I guess just place me wherever.
I think wherever you want. You place yourself.
So where did we? So hold on, let me just show everybody here. So where did we? We're here. Where did we? I guess we were like hiding out here. Where did we see all this go down?
It all went down right in here. That's the ring of candles. I mean,
Okay.
it's not a half circle at all because I can't fucking draw.
Got it.
But-
So it just went down, sort of in this area that's sort of like looking this way. Okay. So initiative.
Initiative. Yep. 2025.
Nope.
15 and 20.
15.
Okay. 15 for
Oh, well, Avantris initiative. What's your initiative?
I got a 16.
16.
14 for me.
14. Okay. Anulin.
8.
8. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll again.
Oh.
All the NPCs. Okay. Blah, blah, blah.
Can you handle my combat travel that so I can go get thanks.
Nick's gonna go check on the dog.
Okay.
I guess she would have been here if she shot an arrow.
Blah, blah, blah. So, they go first. Apologies, I'm just setting up here. Okay. Monsters 2. Okay. With that, it is Monsters 1 turn. And those are the toads. And as they are swirling with this greenish energy, they begin to leap forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they're going to just leap here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then leap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leap. 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 Leap.
So they have 4 movement and then a leap.
Yep. 3, 4. And then they're just long jumping. Yep. So they all leap in. They're kind of just gyrating with this energy. And we are going to get just 2 attacks on Rodak. And so with that, they're going to bite. And does an 18 hit?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 is going to manage to bite you, and as you feel the 3 points of piercing damage, as this kind of tiny little like frog teeth is kind of gyrating in this color.
Is it just a natural piercing?
Yes.
So no damage, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And then that's all. That's all they do.
Okay. Who's next? Taiki?
Okay, Taiki. Yep. So you see Taiki looking around, and she sprints ahead. She'd probably be like right with you, and she's looking around.
Does she do an opportunity attack?
Yeah. She's gonna take. She's gonna sprint up there and look around, and yeah. where'd he go? And then she's going to go look down and just fire at this monster that's right in front of her. One's going to miss, one's going to hit. Dealing 12 points of piercing damage. As the bow fires, and that is going to be her turn. Vantage, you're up.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, I accidentally did the opposite. I'm going to move to my right 3 steps and use my bonus action disengage. And then I'm going to move up 3 spaces. And I'm going to attack the one that Rodek is engaged with and try to tell Taiki to calm down.
Okay.
That's going to be a giant fucking miss. I got an 11.
An 11? An 11. So as you stumble forward, it looks like you're going to miss. And the toad kind of looks at you with these like strange wild eyes, and it leaps into the way of your rapier. As soon as your rapier hits it, killing it instantly, all of a sudden its fleshy body explodes into fiery green energy. And so, could I please get deck saving throws from the 3 of you?
Oh,
Mistake!
And then you see it ignite, and then it immediately vaporizes the next frog, and then that. And,
this one?
Yeah. So both of them die, but I need 2 deck saving throws from you guys.
How big is the radius?
My 2 deck saving throws were 21 and 19.
Okay, both
So
pass.
this one didn't. We're not in 5 with this guy though, right? Or no?
He's next to that guy, right?
He was next to this one, but this one's not next to
Oh
us.
yeah, you're right. So he just dies. So he just kills that one.
Does this one kill this one?
He wasn't next to it, was he? No, he wasn't.
This one's next to this one. This frog here is next to that frog.
Oh
This
yeah,
frog
then he
explodes.
kills that one too. And then he just explodes. And then
I've still got a 12.
12 passes. So so this is going to be, I'm just going to roll all the damage, so just take half of this if you pass.
That sounds like a lot.
I mean, I rolled really shitty. 10, 14, 16, 17, 19 points of fire damage,
That's still a lot.
full, as these toads all explode.
He says as I rolled really shitty. Holy fuck!
Okay. Okay, Avantris, is that it?
That's all I got.
Okay, Sylvie.
Seeing that, Sylvie would realize what's going on, and she would send an Eldritch Blast out at these 2 here.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna roll for her twice. So this is it would be for plus 11, so it'd be 13.
13. Hits.
And then
On the big guy, or the toad.
toads.
Okay.
And then a.
Oh, it's disadvantage because they're wild. They're hopping wildly, so all ranged attackers disadvantage.
Okay, so it's a better
hits,
roll,
okay.
so it hits. And then the second one is gonna be I rolled a 90-20 again, but doesn't matter. So it did. So it's at a 20 something.
20 something. Yeah, they hit.
Okay.
All damage.
So. Okay. 10. So on the, I guess on 8 was the first one I attacked. It's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage.
Okay. 15. It explodes immediately in the fire as it erupts.
And then 14 or 9 damage for the next one.
9 damage. Okay. Once again, explodes into a burst of green flame. Okay. So whose turn is it? It is Rhoda's turn.
Seeing that I don't want to be anywhere near that, I'll just be like, oh, shit! And then I'm just going to sprint. I'm going to dash.
Opportunity attack from the frog, right? It's going to miss.
So
You can remove them because they exploded.
Okay. Oh, they're exploded, right. So I'm here. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, and then Sylvie would have probably tried to get it. So Sylvie would have probably. I think Sylvie's would have backed up like here.
Yeah.
Here. So that's 1, 2, 5. Okay. So I'm just gonna basically and then so that's 5, and then I'm going to that's my movement, and then I'm going to ready my attack for if this thing comes in range. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay. You just run away. The frog misses you, and you are ready to engage on this guy. Annulin, you're up.
Okay, what is behind me? That's the pathway that we came from?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to back up as far as I can. I don't know if that's my full movement or not. I can't see myself.
Oh, sorry. So like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'd want to back up and then fire an arrow at the one that's directly ahead.
Okay.
6.
Disadvantage?
You said disadvantage,
Yeah.
right? 28.
28 hits. Full damage.
Is that, I forget, is that damage or not?
It's not.
13.
It explodes as soon as your arrow finds purchase on it. As soon as it makes contact. Okay.
Okay. And did I use all my movement? I guess I cut myself off on the corner there.
You use 4 out of 7 squares.
Okay, so can I just move up far enough to like cut the corner?
I think you can do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I'll fire the second arrow
Okay.
at that.
You fire it. Disadvantage.
21.
Hits.
Twelve.
12 points of damage. It explodes in a blast of green fire. Okay. Oh, it's its turn. Okay, so you can hear this low moaning as this two-headed stitched abomination is kind of shambling slowly towards you as it's kind of like its darkness is all returned. All of the candles you're now noticing seemingly have gone out.
Oh shit.
In the entire cemetery. As you make your way, it is going to use this movement. And it's going to stand right there. And it is going to run up to Rodek and just go to it and impale. You see that it has long arms, almost where the flesh has merged with the rusty needles that stitch this abomination together. And it is going to make an attack on you with it. And it's going to natural 1. Okay.
Hey.
And then it's going to look at Vandris and shoot out one of its arms. It has a long, kind of stringy arm, and it's going to fire.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
And that is going to be a 18.
Uncanny dodge.
Okay, that hits. So it hits. Wow, 17 points of piercing damage. And you are now grappled, and it is going to use Sorrowful Embrace and Wisdom saving throw for you.
Holy shit!
It is going to yank you in 15 feet closer to it.
I rolled a 4.
It is going to yank you in 15 feet closer to it.
So if that's in line with the toad, what happens?
It's over the toad. They're
Okay.
tiny. They're tiny. And you will take.
13 points of psychic damage as the sorrow and rage of these two lovers kind of racks your brain. Okay. That is its turn. Toads are going to go. This one is going to... Oh, there's only one left?
There's one left, yeah.
Okay, it's going to keep attacking Taiki. And it's going to miss. So it fails. Okay. With that, it is Taiki's turn. And she... she's going to say, I'm going to stay away from this frog, and then she's going to kind of keeping her eyes out all over the bayou, and she is going to just fire 2 arrows, and she's actually going to channel another blue blast into her arrow and fire it, and we'll see if it attacks. We'll see if it hits. And it manages to sink in, and we'll just do her other attack just so I can roll it once. That also is going to hit. Ooh, not great. As both arrows, you can kind of see it kind of try to clutch one of its 2 heads with this large needle arm, as it's just kind of it's racked in pain. Okay. Okay. Who's that? Vanisher.
Okay. I'm going to attack the giant, fleshy, horrible beast in front of me.
Okay.
Wait. Am I grappled?
Yes, you're grappled.
What do I have to do? What do I have to do to stop
You
that?
can do a strength saving throw to try to pull out the harpoon.
Or I attack with disadvantage?
No, you just can't move, and it's in you, and you know that when it did that, it racked your brain.
Alright, strength check.
Okay? You reach down and pull it out.
16.
Passes. You manage to yank it out, and it hurts, doesn't do any additional damage. But it's now, its harpoon arm is now kind of just lying at the ground there. Sylvie.
That's all I got.
So we'll come over here and just throw 2 Eldritch Blasts, I think. Yeah, I don't want to use your spell slots. So it is a 25 and a 19.
25 and a 19. Okay, both of those hit on the big guy.
Yes. Yeah. 5, 18 damage total.
18 damage. Okay. So both lances of glitter lance smash into it for 18 points of damage. It's kind of its flesh is melting and it's kind of wailing, and it is this 2 voices join in unison. Okay, Rhoda.
I yell out to Taiki, "Did you know the man with the mask?" And I'm going to try to look at her and yell at, and so that she knows that I'm talking to her. And then I'm gonna loop around here,
okay.
And just attack again. What am I doing here? So the first one I'm gonna so that's a 29.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it a menacing attack, and then the second attack is going to be a 27. So I'm just gonna roll it all together. Oh, I need to roll this guy. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I re-roll 3 dice. That's fucking crazy.
Natural 1. God damn, these dice suck tonight.
Okay, so he's afraid of me until the start of my next
They
turn.
both have inky black eyes look at you, all 4 of them, and they are wide with fear. How much damage total?
20, 24, 24 plus 12 is 36 damage.
36 damage, okay. Dang. God, you slash into him as the sword is filling it with necrotic damage, and the fury with which you are slicing into this is even making this horrible monstrosity, its eyes fill with fear. Okay. Whose turn is it? Angelin, you're up.
Okay, I can move me towards the group. I can see where I am going.
Sorry. So yeah, you're here. So 3.
Yeah, and then along the wall.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna fire 2 arrows at the large beast.
Okay.
Zababo's beast.
The beast.
That was god I got a 15 and a 13.
15 and 13. Both miss as the arrows fly off, kind of clatter against the mausoleums. Monster 2, that is its turn.
So roll the, what you call it, the wounds, right?
Yep. Okay, it takes the necrotic damage and is going to do a con saving throw. Natural 20 plus whatever.
Okay.
It succeeds, managed to purge the wounds off. And with that, it is going to shoot a harpoon arm at Annulin. Annulin harpoons go really well. And that is going to hit. And I need you to make a whiz saving. I need you to make a whiz saving throw for me.
You take 400 psychic damage.
13.
It was 13.
7 plus. So it's not enough as you take 16 points of piercing damage as it stabs you, and you're pulled 15 feet closer to it. And you're going to take an additional this in psychic damage. 16 points of psychic damage as your brain is racked from the misery of these two and all the horror that's befallen upon them, the loneliness of their souls. Okay, and then with that, it's going to. That was the one that shot Avantris. It's going to go to shoot Rodek again. Really? Does an 18 hit?
Yeah.
Okay. It stabs you, and you're both grappled.
Am I grappled too?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Or now you are, yeah.
Oh, now I am.
15. 17 points of piercing damage.
Holy shit.
And make a whiz saving throw, please.
No.
4, 9, 13 points of psychic damage as it racks your brain. Okay, that's its turn. It's the frog's turn. It is just going to keep making attacks. It's going to
stay here?
Yes, it's going to stay there and make attacks on Tyche until someone hits that. Natural 20!
Oh, shit.
And it's going to crit, and it kind of bites it, and she kind of, come on! And, okay. It is Tyche's turn, and she is going to stand there and just say, I'm so sick of this, and then fire 2 arrows. 20, 22, both hit. Both arrows fly in and kind of hit its torso. It's kind of dripping with its black ink. Okay. With that, it is Avantris' turn.
Okay. I'm just going to attack the giant fleshy gray monster.
Okay.
20.
Okay, 20 hits.
Oh, baby! That was a high fucking roll. Points of damage.
Damn. Holy shit.
I missed max damage by like 6 points.
Wow.
As you just run, as you are Rodek and Annular are basically distracting. You manage to find a weak spot, and you just slice it. You kind of cut some of the twine, the horrific abomination is stitched together with, and it lets those and the two voices you can hear, kind of a male's and a female, just horrifically mixed together. With that,
I'm gonna use my bonus action then to disengage from the frog, because I already get a free disengage from the creature, and I'm gonna wrap around towards Rodek.
Like here?
Perfect.
Okay.
okay. With that, it is Sylvie's turn.
Sylvie is going to kind of move 1, 3 there. She's gonna move here. She's just there. She's gonna just cast 2 Eldritch Blasts. They're both over 20.
Okay.
9, 10, 11, 12, 22 damage.
22
Or no, 21 damage, sorry.
Holy shit. As both Glowlegs smash into the side of this thing, its flesh is falling together. You kind of see where this abomination has been stitched together. It's kind of starting to separate. It is looking rough. Okay, Sylvie Shamrodak.
Okay, I will... Am I disadvantaged right now, or no?
Nope, you're just grappled.
Okay. So I am going to... I'm going to make 2... Oh, he was feared. I forgot about that. That's my fault. I'm going to make 2 attacks.
It would have still hit.
Oh, okay, good. 8. So the lower one is an 18.
Hits.
Okay. I'll just roll damage for both. I'm just rolling lots of ones. So that is 10, 13 plus 12 is 13 plus 12 is 25.
25 points of damage. Your sword slash. Or no, what is this? This is your sword?
Yeah, just
right.
two attacks.
Yeah, slice. You're tearing it apart as it is looking incredibly weak. Okay, Annual, you're up.
Here it is.
Wait, so am I still attached to it?
It is harpooned you, yes. This large kind of like rusty, disgusting like needle is this in your side.
Okay. And how does that affect me? Does that?
You just can't move.
You can't move. You can't move. You're
but it doesn't affect my attack, right?
Nope.
Okay. Then I'm gonna fire 2 arrows. (23 and 19).
23 and 19 both hit. Wow.
It's 18 total damage.
18 total damage. How do you want to do this?
Oh god. I don't know. I wanna send an arrow through so that it goes through both of their heads and kind of smushes their heads together, so they're like almost like they're kissing, but I don't know.
Okay.
What? They're lovers.
Okay. You fire the first arrow kind of into the neck, and it turns its head, and then you manage to find the neck of the other one, and you fire, and it fires into the point where they both kind of lose all the flesh and stitching, so their faces just smash together, and it just collapses on to the ground. You stand around. Taiki goes and kicks the frog against the wall and explodes, and because she was up. And as soon as it collapses, quiet has once again returned to the cemetery. All of the candles still set up, but completely extinguished. Darkness has returned, and that's where we're on the session.
Oh shit!
Damn. Alright.
I feel like she knows who that guy was.
Oh, totally.
Definitely.
We got a lot of debriefing we have to do here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys. We will be back on Monday for You Will Be Witness, which our friend Derek, obviously, Morning Frost and Caprice DeSesto, is DMing. And we will be back on Monday, so please tune in and come see us. We love you guys. And I guess we're just ready to call it a night. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, and we will see you Monday.
Appreciate it.
Good
Love you
night.
guys.